The hell are you supposed to be?
I'm vengeance.
What's up? What's up? AWO here, Airward. What's up on a Sunday evening? Not on the eve of Halloween. Tomorrow's the eve of Halloween, right? Yeah. Today's the 29th. Tomorrow's Halloween Eve. Thank you. Yeah. So, a few more days to Halloween. What's up? This talks. I'm going to get this out of the way. This is a Let's Talk Pop episode, but it's not going to count against the numbers, episode number. No, I list my Let's Talk Pop episodes by numbers, right? This is a special, so this one's not going to be it's not going to be in this part of the series. It's just a special Let's Talk Pop. And on this special Let's Talk Pop, Blindon's going to join up. Blindon's going to come on when he can. But on this special of Let's Talk Pop, we're going to talk about Spider-Man 2, the video game. Review it on here. We're going to talk story, gameplay, everything, the future, maybe some controversial topics, maybe some comparison to some other video games, superhero video games. Maybe we'll compare Spider-Man to Batman Arkham series. Maybe we'll compare that. Maybe we'll do some have fun there. It's 4-2 in terms of the series, obviously, but which one is more fun? We'll talk about that. The future, like I said, the future controversy with this game with certain people that just are looking for attention, a grift, on an intern. And well, that's what we're gonna do. Okay, so yeah. Okay. So Blind will be coming on when he can. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, do all that stuff. Okay. And once again, my Twitter handle's down below. If you want to follow me there, let me put my face. Okay. And the banner. Okay. I'm just typing stuff on YouTube and on Twitter. Okay. Sorry if I'm a little silent. Okay. Infamous, amazing. I agree with you on Infamous. I did not play the third game. Okay. But I'm going to say this. As you said, my banner says, I put video game there, right? That's only because the movie Spider-Man 2, the middle movie of the Raimi, is called Spider-Man 2. So just to let people know, I'm talking about the video game, not the movie. I think most people that are watching the stream know that, but just in case somebody doesn't know that, I make sure to let them know. But I'm gonna read this comment. Infamous, I love that series. Actually, it is a series because there are 3 games, but I haven't played the third game. But I love the first 2 games. I think Infamous, because Infamous is clearly inspired by comics, right? Clearly inspired by comic books, all that. I think I think they should try. I think Infamous I think Hollywood should try. I think Hollywood should take a shot at developing an Infamous movie or TV show. Personally, it's personally. I think there's a lot in Infamous. There's a lot of, I would say, inspired by X-Men, maybe X-Men lore. It's very inspired by X-Men because, especially the second game, very X-Men heavy like, but it's inspired by X-Men. A lot of X-Men related aspects in Infamous. Hey, blinded.
What's
Okay,
up?
we're same topic as yesterday.
Yeah, same topic as yesterday.
We're gonna add more stuff. We're gonna talk about comparisons to other superhero video game series like Arkham is a good one. We'll talk about the app.
Mhm.
We'll talk some little controversial topics. Like we did with Tony last night. Great topic.
Mhm.
The future, I guess, of this game, or the future of this series. We're gonna talk about that again. But I want to get your thoughts here. Arkham series, yeah. I'll be honest with you. I think the gameplay mechanics is better in the Spider-Man series than Arkham series.
I prefer the Arkham series.
I
I'll
think.
be honest.
Let's see. It depends with Arkham. I think. Well, look, the stories, the stories, the story of the Arkham series
I think Spider-Man might have a little bit of an edge over
in story.
the stories, yeah, but not by much. I think
No.
the problem with the Batman stories now is that I would like to see a new Arkham game by Rocksteady, with Paul Dini, and bring back the creative team that did Arkham Asylum and City and see what they can come up with. But I don't think that'll ever
Yeah,
happen.
Arkham Knight was the original plan. We talked about this months ago. The original plan for Arkham Knight was not part of the Arkham City and Arkham Asylum.
Yeah, they rewrote it and changed it, and it wasn't as good.
Like you said, Paul, it was supposed to be Hush. It was supposed to be more involved, right?
Yeah, Hush was more involved. I
That's
think.
Paul Dini's guy.
Yeah, and a lot of people even speculate that some of the missions may have been changed around.
Well,
because of that.
There was supposed to be a mission with Zaz in Arkham Knight. They decided to get rid of. Apparently, I found this out on the video like a couple weeks ago. Maybe they were supposed to do more stuff with Zaz in Arkham Knight, but I guess it got too. I don't know. But yeah, but here's the series. I think Degrassi hit Infamous. Infamous is a series that she kept continuing doing because that's the first two games. I never played the third game, but to me, the third game wasn't really.
Yeah, the third game was a different character.
Yeah. But the first two games were amazing. Some of the best superhero games out there.
Yeah, I don't know Sony's weird right now. I don't see them bringing back Infamous. Yeah. I'd rather Ghost of Tsushima 2, to be honest.
Infamous is something they should. It's good enough they should tackle for a movie or TV show because it is a comic book game, even though it's like not based on a comic book, but it's basically a comic book game. It's very inspired by. It's very inspired X-Men like. There's a lot of X-Men lore into Infamous, like, right? Like if you notice, like,
with the different elements.
Yeah.
That people, yeah.
I know Degrassi, but
Yeah, I actually bought Gotham Knights recently on sale, so I have a bunch of other games that once I'm done with Spider-Man, I'm gonna finish. Like I'm almost done Metroid Prime. And then I also have Mario Wonder. I bought that and I only did a couple levels. Yeah, Mario Wonder. And then Gotham Knights. And I was gonna play the first Alan Wake, so then I could play the second one.
When's the second one? Is that out now?
Yeah, it's already out.
Okay, that's what I thought. Because nobody's been talking about Alan Wake 2 because I think the discussion
because of Spider-Man
and Mario. But I've seen more Spider-Man.
Yeah, I haven't really seen. Yeah, I haven't really seen a lot of people talk about Mario.
That's true. There's definitely more Spider-Man talk than Mario.
Yeah.
I don't know what that picture was that Cry Face was trying to imply there. Like, he's crying about anything now.
Yeah, I don't know what he was getting mad because there's some object that has like some motivational text. Like I don't know what he was complaining about. And then you have Eric July saying, "Yeah, I saw that and it was hilarious on stream." Like, and I'm like, "What the fuck is he talking about?" Like, yeah,
Same
yeah.
guy. He does.
I can't really say anything much about Mario Wonder because it
Mhm.
the first couple of stages are just tutorials. They're visually looks pretty nice. Um, but I haven't gone like super and deep into it.
I'm thinking I've started to play more because to finish with Spider-Man, so I got into
Yeah.
doing Mario Wonder. I mean, I got it the same day as Spider-Man, but Spider-Man took up most of my time.
Yeah, I'm almost done. I need like five more trophies. I'm pretty much close to the ending of the bot, like the final boss. Um,
Yeah.
and yeah, I've unlocked every single like skill tree gadget. All that stuff's unlocked.
Hey, Anthony.
I'm waiting. I wouldn't mind if they, or I wouldn't mind going back and playing it once they add the new game plus.
Oh yeah.
And then I'll play that on ultimate mode. Because spectacular mode, it was just like yeah, sometimes I would die, but then it's still like too easy. I really don't like the stealth system. I don't care what anybody says. The stealth system was the biggest downgrade in the game.
I
It
barely
holds the
use
game back.
I barely use the stealth system in the game.
Right, but even when you're forced to, it's like bare bones. It's so generic. It's like you have the
Mhm.
whip, the web line, and that's it. There's no trip mines, there's no bombs anymore. There's no you can't even well, I haven't done this because in the first game you could do ceiling takedowns. I can't remember if that's in this game. It might be, but I just haven't done one. But there's a lot of stuff that I feel
Yeah.
like the first game did better, and a lot of people on Twitter I feel were like, "Oh yeah," like because I seen a post that was like, "Oh yeah," they were like, "It was a good idea to get rid of the weapon wheel," and I'm like, "No, that was stupid. That was like one of the dumbest things they did." Because they took away so many, like the electric web, the impact web, the bomb web. They got rid of all
Yeah.
of that stuff. Yeah, and I don't see the point of it because in the ending of the game, you have multiple abilities for both Miles and Peter that you can customize.
They put it
So,
all on the side, the right and the left. You have to press it.
right, but with the gadgets, you only have four gadgets.
Yeah.
There's no other gadgets, and I wish they did. Like, why not improve it? Right? Like, I wanted the electrical webs back. That was actually cool to stun enemies. The bomb
Mhm.
webs were also pretty fun.
Mhm.
Um, and the trip mines for the stealth. So yeah, in my opinion, that was such like a big downgrade from the game that it actually did ruin my enjoyment. Every time there was a stealth section, it was just doing this exact same thing over and over again instead of like changing up and doing other things. Like I just didn't like that in the game at all. Yeah, I don't care what anybody says. I've seen a lot of people are like, "Oh no, it was the right decision." Not for me. It was not the right decision at all. Yeah.
Yeah. I noticed it too at the beginning, but I got used to it. I got used to it. They did make
Nah,
it everything
it
easier. They
was
did.
too yeah, things it felt like everything got way too easy, especially on the highest difficulty, just way too easy.
Mm-hmm. Where was I? Okay.
I hope they change that in the third game or the next game that they do. I really hope they change that. Or if Wolverine is a lot more harder and I hope I hope Wolverine plays like God of War. That's what I
Oh
hope.
yeah.
I think that would be really cool. I think that might work better for Wolverine, and I hope it's not an open world because the open world here, I
Wolverine
still
doesn't
don't
work
think it's
with open
great.
world.
No, it really doesn't. It should just be a linear story. It should be like The Last of Us meets God of War. That's what it should be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And God of War is the newer ones is not really. There's kind of open world a little, but it's not like Spider-Man open world. It's more of a.
No.
It's the newer God of Wars is more open world, especially than.
Yeah, but it's still kind of
Yeah.
linear. It's not like Spider-Man. Like in
Yeah.
God of War, you're still kind of stuck on a path, and you have to
Hmm.
follow that path. But
Yeah,
you can
exactly.
deviate a little bit, but not really. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. I we'll see when Wolverine comes out. It doesn't sound like it's coming out anytime soon. So
No. No. What's this? Okay, yeah. Yeah. What the grassy is? Well, they've been saying that the whole game, Miles Morales is Spider-Man, the whole game.
yeah, yeah. They've been calling each anytime they're in the suit, they
Yeah.
call each other Spider-Man, which is
Yeah.
a little weird, but it is what it is. I
Yeah.
mean, I actually do like that they're dynamic. I thought it was very interesting. I even said like I would actually prefer if the movies had both Miles and Peter because it seems really refreshing. Instead of it just being like one Spider-Man. Like why not have two? And in the next game they're gonna have three characters. So I mean,
Maybe
that's also
more.
gonna be interesting. Yeah, maybe four. We'll see. I don't. I mean, that's also another thing too. This game or these games have never touched upon Gwen Stacy. So I'd be curious to see. I mean, we are getting Green Goblin in the third game, so I don't see why she wouldn't appear unless they do something entirely different, which is fine.
They
I
have
don't
to do
I
something
don't
different
mind.
because you can't do the Gwen Stacy storyline with Green Goblin in this.
No, you don't have to, but I mean like they could do something new with it, right?
Yeah.
Because I
Yeah.
mean this game, remember, this game is still taking some inspiration from Craven's Last Hunt, right? So it's just that
Hmm.
it changes it up. It's not identical at all. It's just sort of like Craven has similar motivations, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Some maps are just too big. Well, they made the map big.
yeah.
Oh man, you know which map? It's nothing compared to. It's nothing compared
Spider-Man's map just feels
to.
if it's big, but
It's not
there's
Grand
not
Theft Auto
much to
big.
do. No, I mean like first, I mean I played so much of Cyberpunk and what was another open world game that oh yeah, Tears of the Kingdom, right? That those open
Witcher.
worlds, eh, yeah, anytime you explore those open worlds, you always will find something interesting. In Spider-Man 2, like in the first Spider-Man, it was fun because you're like, oh, here's the Sanctum Sanctorum, oh, here's Avengers Tower, and here's these little Easter eggs. There's literally no new Easter eggs in this game. Like they added Brooklyn and Queens, and
Yeah.
like there's really not much going on there. There's no like I really don't like open world games like that. What's the point of having an open world
The
and then
full
you
state of
can't
New York.
really explore it?
A full state of New York. You'd be going all the way to
Nah.
Buffalo.
Nah, I think they need to get rid of the New York map. They need to do something different, like go to a different city or something like that. Because it just, I mean, the thing is, they're gonna have to stay with New York. But like, could you at least change up the map or like add things where when you're exploring around, it feels unique? Like you can't tell me someone like anybody who's played some of these, like even Starfield, even Starfield. When you walk around, people always complain, "Oh, Starfield is empty." There's a lot of stuff you can find in Starfield that is story related. In Spider-Man, there's
Yes.
nothing. It points you. Spider-Man points you to everything that is relevant on the map, and once it's all done, there's no reason to explore. There's nothing to find. So yeah, I don't like that about the game.
Starfield, when you do a mission and you go to this planet or whatever, say on a planet, when you're
Right.
doing your current mission, all of a sudden another mission will pop up. Some random like go
Yeah.
talk to this person.
Or when you go to a planet, you'll find a
Yeah.
base and then you can find stuff in the base that's
Yeah.
useful, right?
Yeah.
And same thing with Cyberpunk. Like you could just be walking around on the street and you can stumble upon a quest without realizing.
Hmm.
Tears of the Kingdom, you can stumble upon a cave. And I don't really understand that you were using the same map in Spider-Man and you couldn't, add things that were unique. You know what I mean? Like added to maybe the
Hmm.
Spider-Man or even more collectibles. That was another thing too. I'm not sure if you noticed that I actually liked about the first game was you have the spider bots, right?
That's
But
it. The
they're
only
just
collectibles.
yeah, they don't tell you anything. In the first game though, there was the collectibles that would actually, there was some history behind it, right?
Hmm.
But they took that away. I don't see why. What was the point of that? And then the photo ops too, like yeah, there are places around New York, but in the first game, you're taking pictures of like buildings and things around that were relevant, right? And so it's like, I don't know. I feel like some of the stuff that they added or slightly changed
Yeah,
to the open world wasn't great. Yeah,
they kind of reduced the side missions. The side missions were not exactly as interesting as the first game. I'll say that.
yeah. I mean, I like the flame quest with Wraith. I thought that was pretty
Yeah,
cool. And then obviously at the ending, Carnage and it's like, okay, yeah, that's fine. They have their little conflict and stuff.
Chameleon. You get Chameleon. It's
Yeah,
not
the
conflict.
chameleon.
It's not really. You haven't really.
You don't fight him. Yeah, you don't. There's no
Yeah.
confrontation. It's just a setup. And I mean, I told you I did like the quest where like when you help Howard, like that was
Mhm.
I actually like those quests. A lot of people hate those quests. To me, they were very Spider-Man. They felt like, yeah, this is Spider-Man helping people for sake of helping them. Or when you play as Haley, right? I didn't mind that either. It was just I, I just don't I'm not a big fan of like the Ubisoft open world style approach. I think it's really boring after a while. And I can like tune out. I'm only doing it just to get the platinum, right? And just to
Mhm.
unlock more suits. That's the
Mhm.
only reason why. And oh, that's another thing too I don't like about the game. I'm telling I I like the story of the game. I like the elements of it, but I prefer the first game. I really do prefer the first game. That game was a much better experience. Why did they take away suit abilities? I don't
Oh
really
yeah.
understand what was the point of that.
Yes. Yes. You're right. Something like you could wear any suit and you have the same abilities.
Yeah, you have the same abilities and they weren't major like abilities
Mhm.
in the first game, but like they did change a little bit, right? And so you kind of had to pick and choose what suit you had. And also there's backstory to it, right? Like why the suit, like there's a little like blurb about it. Here it's just the name and then you have the colorways and some of the
Yeah.
colorways suck.
I mean,
That's another thing
look.
too.
Like I guess. I mean, look. If you had the Black Panther suit, right, for Miles,
Yeah,
why
that
not
that was
claws?
cool.
Have claws or something. Yeah. Wolverine,
Yeah,
maybe
or
something.
yes, well, some type of
Yeah.
ability that's unique. Like I really don't understand.
But
Like this,
Batman does the same things. The Arkham games, the suits don't.
yeah, the Arkham games have never done that.
Yeah.
The first Spider-Man game did do that, and that was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they had that in Miles Morales. Miles Morales,
I don't
even Miles
remember.
Morales, I feel like is a better game too than this game. Like it just, like I was even telling my friend, I'm like, yo, if Miles Morales didn't come out, would this game feel a lot more fresh? And he said it would like it would be a big jump up from
Mm-hmm.
the first game, but because you have Miles Morales, there's a lot of stuff that is similar to Miles Morales that's in this game, so it
Yeah.
doesn't feel super fresh. Uh, so that's why I'm kind of like I think the game, like if I had to rate the game, I'll
Although
give it maybe a 7 or 8.
every
That's
time,
like the range I would give it.
every time for fun, every time somebody's gonna mention Carnage or Cletus Cassidy, you're gonna get
Mhm.
this.
You ain't gotta protect me from Cletus. Come on, Cletus. Come on. Come over here.
I seen you posted that, yeah. No, man.
If you did, that's from Nutty Professor.
Yeah,
Great films.
Eddie Murphy, yeah.
Great
Oh
film.
man.
Well, I think Jada Pickett Smith was in one of them, right? The first one. Was that her?
I
The
can't
first one?
remember. Can't remember.
That family so screwed up. The Smiths. Oh.
Yeah.
In,
Yeah, I
oh,
wouldn't mind that too.
well, because Miles technically is the new only solo Spider-Man now. This is the end of Spider-Man, the 2,
Right.
right? Like we know Peter's gonna come back. No superhero really retires. No one.
Yeah, I
really
know
retires.
Peter's gonna come back in the third game, obviously.
Yeah.
And you're gonna have Silk and I
I-
mean, yeah.
Who knows how long the third game will be? Maybe a year, maybe I'm not talking about development. I'm talking about the story. How long the story between the second and the third.
I
game
wouldn't
will be.
mind if it's like a massive jump.
Yeah, because I felt like the Miles Morales, the Spider-Man 2 between Spider-Man 2 and Spider-Man 1.
It's only been a year.
Yeah, like
That's like
Yeah.
way too short.
Yeah. I felt it should
Yes.
have been at least maybe 2 to 4 years at best, maybe.
Yeah, it feels like maybe 2 years. Yeah,
Because
because like Miles grows,
the
and he's
third game,
like, yeah,
the third game, he has to be a college student at some point, right, Miles? Because I
yeah. They're
think
gonna have to make him a college kid. Yeah. Oh yeah, and that's another thing too. That this is another thing I didn't like about the game. Besides the abilities, which yeah, besides the abilities, both Peter and Miles, I feel like play way too similar. I think they
a little
needed
bit, yeah.
more than just the abilities to differentiate them. And because like I was thinking, I was like about the gadgets, right? Like I would have liked to see Miles have his own gadgets instead of using Peter's that
Yeah,
were
he has
more reflective of him,
the
right?
same
Because he
gadgets.
was talking
Yeah.
about this, yeah, because he was the one doing all the sound design and he wants to get into music production. And you're like, wouldn't it be more interesting to have gadgets that are reflective of Miles being creative, right? Like that's something I instead of it being like, oh yeah, Peter's a science guy and Miles is the creative guy, right? He's the
Mm-hmm.
artsy guy, right? And so his gadgets are more reflective of creativity than just like, you know, Peter's, which is very like methodical and like, okay, we're gonna use this web. I forget what that thing does. It brings in a bunch of people, but
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, like
Yeah. That.
stuff like that. I think they should have
Mm,
leaned into more. It's two different Spider-Man.
maybe
Oh,
electrical.
electrical stuff. Yeah, because they took that away
Yeah.
they took that away. And then another thing I was thinking of, there's never a combat encounter, not a combat encounter, but a stealth a segment where you are both characters are in the stealth sequence, right? So when there's an area where you're supposed to do a stealth takedown,
Mm-hmm.
there's never a point in the game where both characters are working together, which is like, why didn't they do that? That's like a failed opportunity.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
because then you could switch between the characters. Like, oh yeah, I need your help here because, hey, the one enemy is like, he has electricity, and so like Peter can't pick him up, but Miles can pick him up, right? Because he's electric. That's just an example, right? Like some of the gameplay choices, I just feel like what were you doing? Like you kind of have a lot of missed opportunities here, and to expand on the game, like it. That's what I'm saying. I like the game. It's a good game, but like I am disappointed that this is not like I was expecting Spider-Man 2. When I heard Spider-Man 2, I was thinking this would be like what Arkham City is to Arkham Asylum. You know, that massive jump where it's like Arkham City was like an open world, like Arkham Asylum was not. That was like a corridor Metroidvania game.
Yeah.
And it's totally different. Like both of those games can stand on their own and be good games. Spider-Man 1 and 2 I feel like are so similar that the only thing that's different is really just the story and Miles Morales and the abilities. That's really it. I mean, you got the wingsuit, which was fine. They really only put that in the game because one, it was in the movies, and then two, you can't actually really cross a body of water while web swinging. Jesus,
Yeah.
I'm tripping over my words.
Yeah, if there's nothing there for the web to connect to.
Right. You can web zip, or if there's like a ship, you can you can kind of swing, but not really, right? And so
surf on the water.
yeah, you can surf. Yeah, you can surf the water for a little bit and then jump back up in the air.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's there's I don't know. There's a lot of things in the game. I just feel like you could have done a lot more with it. Yeah.
Yeah. Degrassi. Yeah, he's really experienced. He's been doing it some time. I assume since high school in the series. Some of the villains are already around, right?
Right.
A lot of his villains actually are around.
Yeah, because he's been Spider-Man for like 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
So he doesn't have like all of the rogues, but he has a lot of them.
when he had the flashback scene in the school, he was Spider-Man then.
Yeah, and he was like 15 or
Yeah,
14 or something like that.
yeah. That's and he
And
does.
he's
Yeah,
24 in this game. So
24. He actually looks. The Mary Jane, I'll say, it's nothing to do with the model. She looks older than 24. I'm gonna be honest.
yeah,
She's like-
yeah, I mean even Harry, I feel like Harry looks kind of young in
yeah,
comparison to them.
I would say if like they don't look at the mid 20s. I'm sorry.
No, yeah, maybe like later 20s.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
no, I think the story is really good. Especially Miles' whole like forgiveness of Martin Lee. I thought that was
yeah.
done pretty
Just
good.
negative. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
There's Marley's redemption, I guess you could call it,
hmm
right? And that there's Peter's struggle with his career.
Yeah,
Spider-Man
that was
like
also well done too.
yeah,
And how it like
uh,
manifests in the symbiote and how he was like the
yeah,
symbiote is really kind of like reflective of like their negative thoughts about
yeah,
themselves and the people around them and
yeah.
I thought that was pretty well done. It actually makes a lot of sense. And I know a lot of people don't like the Venom in this game. Personally,
Venom's
I thought it
awesome.
was pretty good. I thought it was pretty cool what they did with him. It was a different take on Venom, which I'm fine with. I don't expect these
What kind
games to
of Venom did
do
they expect?
everything. Well, people want it. Like I see it on
Not Eddie
Twitter, a lot of
Brock's Venom.
people being upset. Yeah, well, one, I think it's also Eddie Brock. Two, people, I seen a post on Reddit where one guy was like, "Well, why is he called Venom?" And like that doesn't make sense. And because like that line that he says in the comic, right? Like why he's called Venom, but it's like I don't know. I'm not bothered by any of those things. Like you can kind of come up with the explanation of why he's called Venom. It's just not said in the game, right?
Yeah,
You could say that Mo. It's like it could be just the same thing in the comic or that Venom and what the symbiote was doing. It's like they're seeping into people's mind, right? It's kind of like a venom, right? It takes over your body, and is destroying you, right? Internally. So it makes that you can come up with some explanation, right?
yeah. Like I mean, like look at the movies. The Venom. I guess it's different. The Venom movies, right? Of Tom Hardy.
hmm
The Venom doesn't do that to Tom Hardy. It's a different Venom. That's a very different Venom.
Yeah, that's a totally different venom. Yeah.
Yeah. Even in the anime series, when Venom took over Eddie Brock, it didn't really like. It wasn't like this Venom either. It was
hmm
that villain wise, but he was
Yeah,
still
I
kind of
agree,
in control.
Anthony. I
He was
agree.
still kind of control. Like in this game, Venom was clearly in control most of the time.
Yeah, he was the one that was. Yeah, it wasn't like a shared partnership. It was.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The whole parasite thing, like it was literally taking over your body and manipulating,
yeah,
Peter and MJ and Harry and So I like that aspect. That it was unique. It was different. It was refreshing to see.
This
Because again, it's like
the
we
reason it's
haven't
called
seen
Venom.
Spider-Man.
The reason it's
Yeah,
called
right,
Venom is just what you said 2 minutes ago. But negative thoughts. It's putting venom into your
right.
mind. That's the reason it's called
Yeah,
named Venom.
yeah. It doesn't. I don't know. Some
There's no
people get
explanation needed.
like I used. I mean, I still feel the same way about comic book accuracy, but with a game like this, I don't care too much. Like we already know the game. The first game is not comic accurate. It
No,
changes a lot of different things. That's the whole point of it. It's a new interpretation. So yeah, I'm not gonna complain about that. But
no.
like it's funny how like the people on Twitter, like their criticism of the game is more of the story aspect and what they did. Like people were kind of upset with Craven. That I can maybe understand a little bit, but outside of that, I feel like I have like the opposite perspective. I
Craven,
really like the story, and I don't really like
Craven,
the gameplay as much.
Craven was instrumental in the story, but he was kind of the push. He's kind of
Yeah,
push. He was there. He's like Joker says, gravity, right? All it takes the gravity line, right?
Mm,
Craven was that was his role in the game, especially when Peter had the symbiote on. That's Craven's
right,
role, was to get Peter to push over the edge and see, and to make Peter see, finally realizing the symbiote's not good for him. That's what Craven's role
right.
basically was.
Yeah,
Basically,
he's not like I seen someone say, oh, he's like the greatest antagonist. It's like no, he's not a like a fully depth antagonist.
no.
I mean, he has motivations and things like that, but he's not sympathetic. There's not a lot of dimension to him. It's just very straightforward. Like his
Yeah.
whole goal is to find, yeah, like the most dangerous animal in New York City and take them down, right? And it just so happens that that black suit had the characteristics that he was looking for, and so therefore he was attacking Peter and Harry, right?
Yeah,
And they got dragged into the story,
he never was interested in Miles. Miles to
right?
him he wanted Peter and Harry because he wanted the symbiote. The symbiote was the most powerful, whoever lashed it onto.
Right. He was just pulling the strings. He was making all this
Actually,
chaos happen.
Actually, I disagree because Craven wanted to die.
Yeah, that was his whole. He was going to die, right?
Yeah,
He wanted to. He wanted to die.
He had cancer, right? He didn't want to die on. Apparently, he had cancer. That's the theory, right?
Yeah.
He didn't want to die from being on the bed and on his deathbed.
He was full blown self-destructive because he got his whole family killed too.
So his death, the Craven, you could say all he wanted is sick, sick in the head, his twisted family values, whatever. But he still has a little bit of honor, and he wanted his honors to die in battle, not by being on the deathbed. That's what he wanted.
Right. Yeah, he was just really sick and demented, and he just went along with it.
He really wanted Peter to be the one to do it, because Peter, he's like Batman, that has no kill rule, right? Like, because Peter would not kill him.
He wanted whatever was the strongest animal to take him out.
Yeah.
Right. And yeah, I know that's another thing people complain about. Like, I mean, I agree. Like, not agree completely, but people were complaining about the fact that Craven had killed so many characters. He killed Scorpion. He killed, Vulture. As we know, Rhino. Yeah, Vulture.
Shocker, maybe. I think Shocker. Yeah.
Shocker. I'm pretty sure he killed Electro too. It's just there's no real proof.
Yeah. And
so people were like, "Oh yeah, like, why did they kill off so many characters?" I didn't mind. They weren't. It's like we already seen those characters already. Like,
because those characters are never gonna be like major villains. Like, because they're
people were expecting them to like go back to the Sinister Six. Like, we've seen the Sinister Six. Like, okay, it didn't have Green Goblin. Yeah, I don't see. I mean, to me, it added. I wish Craven was killing more people on screen instead of it being off screen.
Yeah, we only saw Scorpion. That's it.
Yeah, we only saw Scorpion. Like, it should have been way more. It should have been all the Sinister Six he was taking down.
And he purposely let Martin Lee. He purposely let Martin Lee live to let Miles deal with Martin.
Yeah, to fight. Yeah. We should have gone more stuff like that. Like. Or maybe it's like Miles, he was like, because you fight in that area, right?
Yeah.
It should have been like maybe a buildup where you're taking down other villains, and then you got to Martin Lee, and then Martin Lee kind of like dragged you into your mind, and you had to fight him there. I don't know. All I'm saying is I feel like they did what they wanted to do. I just wish they showed a little bit more. Right, of him being a menacing villain, like a very threatening villain, right? So, I mean, there's a bunch of other characters too that I would rather see in a future game instead of, oh look, it's Vulture and Scorpion again for like the third or fourth time. Like,
they're just gonna be Sinister Six henchmen. Those guys, they're not really the big bads. They're not really big bad villains. Okay. Move
on. Make new characters. Give another villain who's never been in a movie the spotlight.
If you could make the villain like Michael Keaton's Vulture, maybe, but they're not going to do that. It's obvious.
No, yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. Right? Like, obviously. It's going to be Green Goblin, and it's going to be another one. We know that. They always use there's always two major villains. And and one of those two major is the actual main villain, like Venom, Kraven, and in the other movie in the first game was Martin Lee and Doctor Octopus.
Right.
Right, like Mr. Negative, and Doctor Octopus. So there's gonna be two, and there's gonna be the other villains that some you're gonna recognize, and some you may not recognize because you have to put in villains that are not very popular, since like Blind just said, maybe at least 5 of them are dead.
Yeah.
Like Shocker's never gonna be a main villain. Shocker's never really a main villain.
No, yeah, he's always like he's kind of like on the level of like just
A higher
petty
goon?
crook.
Petty crook,
Yeah, or higher.
Same Same with Rhino.
Yeah, those are characters I don't feel like they have too much depth. I mean, they have stories with them, but they're not like deep characters.
Scorpion actually has a little more depth. Than
Scorpion has a little bit more depth, but at this point,
yeah,
they did pretty much everything they could with Scorpion. I feel like there's not really much to go with Scorpion going forward.
No.
So
we don't even know what if why Scorpion is Scorpion in the game, in the franchise anyway. Like how right? We don't even know. Most of the villains we don't know because they're not important to the overall, I guess, story they're trying to tell with three of the main titles and whatever side titles in the way.
Right.
Like it's clearly Norman Osborn is the main villain of all the three. Will be the main villain of all the three, right? Because Green Goblin is coming to third game. It's obvious, and they're building up they're building up since the first game. Green Goblin.
Yeah.
This was the game. Yeah, I'm just saying this is the game where we're finally getting to see the little hints of Green Goblin appearing, the G serum, and his hatred for Spider-Man at the end.
Right. Yeah, and also I guess speaking of that, because I've seen some people talk about what would happen in the third game exactly. Because I still think it's not. I mean, we're getting Green Goblin. Yeah, I hope Morbius. We get Morbius at some point in time.
Guy, though Morbius, I don't.
I'm worried they would actually make him into a joke character or. Like,
can you imagine?
Yeah, I could see that happening.
Morbius.
Yeah, but yeah, just because it's Morbius, and now Morbius is more of a joke than he is a serious character, just because of that movie.
The thing about Shocker in the first Spider-Man movie, not far from Homecoming. Scorpion was a goon. Watcher. He was nothing.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I am curious because some people were saying, people are like, oh, I hope they don't do Superior Spider-Man. So Superior Spider-Man. I mean, it's not going to be like we said before. It's not going to be like the comic, but I would be curious to see, what would you do, with a premise like that from the comics? Like, would you have, Otto be Peter, or would it be like a different approach, or like maybe they make their own Spider-Man, or I don't really know. I don't want it to be too similar to what we've got in the past, right? So maybe you don't do Superior Spider-Man. I don't know.
I think they might not do Superior Spider-Man because apparently in the first game, Chameleon did become an imposter Spider-Man.
Right. Yeah, but I mean he's here too, right?
Yeah. So
I
wouldn't do it. I don't know if I would do it.
Well, we didn't see it though.
Yeah. Pretty in the first
and also too, what is Chameleon? What are they setting up with Chameleon? Like, what could you do with Chameleon?
Let me get. Was that trap in the side mission was not set for Miles? That was set for Kraven, wasn't it?
Which one?
The trap in his penthouse.
That trap was for Kraven. Yeah, because they even they talk about that.
Yeah.
Or he Miles. Well, I mean, you could play as Miles or Peter. I played as Miles.
Me too.
Miles. Yeah, you can because it's all here. It's already pre-recorded, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he was gonna kill him, but it makes me wonder though, like what was Chameleon trying to set up?
Why would he eventually hated his brother? Degrassi hated Craven.
No, yeah, that was before Craven was dead.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because remember, Craven only dies because of Venom. Like
Yeah.
that, so all of that was set up before. He was trying to get his whole reasoning was that because he just hates his brother, and his brother was just a piece of shit to him. Right? He like was neglectful and he ignored him, so he wanted to get rid of him.
Yeah.
So he can be like the heir, or be like kind of like the family role model. I don't know how you want to say it. But I'm curious what they do with him.
That's right. In 2026, we're gonna get Venom versus Craven. Sonic.
Venom versus Craven. I wouldn't be surprised if they did that.
Oh, if they do Venom versus Craven with Aaron Taylor Johnson versus Tom Hardy, they got a source me.
No, man.
Yeah, right. I gotta get credit for that.
Oh boy.
Hey, we're probably gonna get that Madam Web trailer soon.
I'm surprised we haven't.
That movie comes out in February, right?
They might delay it. I feel like it's gonna get delayed. I guess we would get a trailer in next month?
Maybe.
I don't know. Sounds like it's gonna get delayed. A lot of these movies are getting moved around anyway, so.
Hey, I'll say this. There's a Snow White movie got pushed back a year. It's not because of the strike. There's something else going on.
No. Well, I think they're. I think they were. I don't. Is it done? I thought it was still.
I think it was done filming some time ago.
I think they didn't want to. Disney's really not doing too hot, so I think they would rather push that out because they delayed that Pixar movie too for a whole year. Did you see that?
Yeah.
I forget what it's called. ELO.
Yeah. The
alien movie with the kid.
Movies, and they took Jonathan Majors this Disney movie.
Yeah, they took that off.
That's the
I don't know what they'll do with that movie.
Degrassi thinks
well, no,
good for Majors.
I don't think it's good because do you know what that story's about?
What?
The magazine Dreams or whatever is based on a bodybuilder who was like abusive.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I don't know. That's why they didn't date it. It's like they probably don't know what to do with it. Yeah, that's my guess at least. Because the story, yeah, at this moment, that's not gonna work, right?
Oh,
that looks really bad.
And that's a Disney movie.
It was I think it's a Fox Spotlight movie or something. Yeah.
Oh, and that.
Yeah, look up the story. I don't know the entire thing, but I just know the guy was a bodybuilder and he was abusive and things like that. Yeah, well, I mean, I'm pretty sure it's not classic bodybuilding, so it probably does have to involve steroids.
What's classic bodybuilding? People, those bodybuilders have like those muscles popping out all everywhere. That's not natural. That's not natural. Yeah,
no, you have to really take steroids if you're gonna do certain body. Like there aren't all natural bodybuilding competitions, but it's, it's those ones are definitely hard on people. But with the steroids, it's all about trying to get the look right, the specific look.
Yes.
Right. Yeah, you gotta like tan and do all this stuff,
but you have to work out too.
Focus on specific muscles.
Because if you take steroids and you don't work out, you get fat.
Yeah, well, you get fat and you gain muscle if you don't work out on steroids. Yeah. Yeah, you can literally like sit around on steroids and gain a bunch of muscle.
Yeah. But eventually, as you get older, that becomes fat.
Well, if you're older and you take steroids, that's not a good idea at all.
No.
Yeah.
Hope Jonathan Majors didn't take steroids for that, Wolf.
Probably. I mean, probably, yeah.
Drug testing they don't do that for Hollywood, man. It's
not they don't do that because they have to. You got to remember. I mean, we talked about this before, but these actors, like, they only have like a couple months to get in shape, and physically, if you're doing it naturally, you couldn't gain like 30 pounds of muscle in 3 months. That's impossible. right? But if you're on steroids, yeah, that is possible.
Oh yes, see, you're
Yeah,
right. Yeah, and then
yeah,
and you see them lose weight afterwards.
yeah,
And
yeah.
that
It's
bodybuilding, that kind of muscle is actually not good for your body because you actually would tear your not your limbs, but you actually tear muscle more. The more muscle you have, you
but
actually
it's
tear.
also not good for your heart too.
That's
If you
true
have a
too.
bunch of
A
muscle,
lot of
yeah,
bodybuilders do suffer heart attacks and stuff. They do.
yeah,
Voids don't help with that.
right, yeah. Well, the way that some people do it, they do it in cycles. So you only take a little bit at a certain time, and then I think like for a certain amount of months you wait and then you do it again. I think that's how it works. I've never done it ever, right? I'm not interested in
I'm
doing
pretty
that.
sure you haven't done.
But there's actually people who do like cycle breakdowns on celebrities. So like if you type in like Rock's steroid cycle, you might see a video about like how the Rock takes steroids, like how he actually consumes it and like breaks it up and trains.
Oh, yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Rock has been honest.
I don't know how they determine that, but I've seen videos about it. Yeah. There's one guy in particular, his name's like More Plates, More Dates, I think. He has an entire channel
And
about
dude,
people's cycles.
if
Yeah.
women should not be sleeping with men who does steroids. It's not actually good because
Well, I mean,
it does affect the system down there, guys. It does. Steroids does affect.
yeah, it does affect their.
And here's the actual fact: HGH in steroids could actually make men grow breasts that look kind of.
Yeah, that's true too. Yep.
And they could change your voice. This is not.
It also gives you bubble gut. You know what
Yes.
bubble gut is? Yeah,
Yes.
that's also pretty disgusting. It's almost like a beer belly, but you got.
Yeah.
There's actually a lot of that's what happens with bodybuilders when they do the steroids, they get a bubble gut.
Yeah.
And it's actually supposed to be part of the aesthetic, which is weird, but it's like it's almost like you have like a beer gut with abs. It's really weird.
In wrestling, they test for voice or HGH stuff like that. Now, like they've been doing it for like over a decade.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, but why though?
Because wrestling there have been the steroid trials, baseball, the baseball steroids.
Yeah,
stuff, sports, and there's been wrestling.
I wouldn't expect wrestling to do it. I'm surprised.
Oh, I'm gonna be honest. I think it depends on the wrestler too. I think
like David Cornsweat. I was gonna say David Cornsweat might actually be on a cycle. I mean, he doesn't really look that big. I don't think he can get that big because he's really tall, right? So if you're really tall, it's gonna be
height does help.
It says he's 6'4". I don't know if he's 6'4". Maybe he might be 6'3" because they always add an inch. So if he's 6'3", I feel like if you are 6'3", that is and you're slender, and he does look very slender, you're gonna have a very hard time gaining weight. It's just if you're like wide and you're really tall, like you have rare, like super rare genetics. Like there's not a lot of people like that on planet Earth who are really tall and really big. So yeah, the higher you go and the more lankier you are, your body frame, like your frame can only hold a certain amount of weight, right? And then also to people's metabolisms, right?
Yes.
There's all different types of factors of like why someone might gain more muscle than the other person, right? So yeah, it's interesting.
Okay.
Oh man. Oh man.
The grass is six-pack. Six-pack of beer. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I'm kidding, the grass. But yeah, they do have a strict policy in wrestling with certain drugs, roids, because of that. But but I'm a little suspicious of it because, like, say Brock Lesnar, like 2016, Brock Lesnar got suspended by the UFC, right? Even though he wasn't really doing MMA, he got suspended for getting caught, right? But WWE didn't suspend him because it's not a WWE. He didn't get tested on WWE. But WWE got tested by MMA. But I think WWE would probably if they get I think if he did get caught with WWE, I think WWE would hide it, would slide it under the rug because it's Brock
Mhm.
Lesnar. I think if it's another wrestler's on the low totem pole, like it's barely used or somebody that loses all the time, it's barely on TV, they probably would suspend him. But if somebody they really like is favorable, or somebody's one of their top superstars draws the most money, they probably would sweep it under the rug.
Mm.
That's what I think. They give
Mm.
still give they'll play favorites. That's what I'm saying.
Right. Yeah.
Right. That's what I'm saying. But yeah, like, look, I'll say this: like, none of the Spider-Man actors. Tom Holland to me is the only one that at least put on a little muscle for Spider-Man, but Tobey
Right.
Maguire and Andrew Garfield look like they didn't put anything on for Spider-Man.
No. Yeah. I mean, well, you don't really. I mean, yeah, I'd be curious about Tom Holland. Like, I don't think Tom Holland had to do gear.
No.
I mean, that would be kind of wild if he did, but yeah, I mean, with Tobey Maguire and
He's
Andrew
just-
Garfield, they don't look like they added any muscle.
Tom-
I don't.
He just looks really short. That's the problem compared to those two.
What
he-
isn't Tom Holland the same height as Tobey Maguire?
Is he? He looks short. Maybe it's how the camera framed him. I guess because I thought, okay, maybe Garfield is.
Yeah, I
pretty
think in
taller.
real life they're the same height.
Okay, Garfield. 'Cause
Yeah, I think Andrew Garfield is definitely taller than the two of them.
Tom Holland still looks like a kid. That's why he's getting all these small kid roles. He's not even.
Yeah.
He's in mid-20s, but he's still getting his kid.
Yeah, he's almost 30.
Yeah.
He's like what, 26 or 27?
Yeah. Same with Haley Steinfeld. She's around the same age, but she gets a lot of kid roles, plays teenagers. It's very
Mhm.
common, right?
Well, the people still see them as kids. That's why.
You know what? It's up to them to break that cycle, really. But
Yeah, I don't know if it will ever break with Tom Holland though, unless he gets something really different, or like his Spider-Man becomes older or appears more older. Then I
can't
think,
see him as an older Spider-Man. That's the problem because he doesn't look like.
yeah, really, he doesn't really look like. I mean, I'm curious to see.
He looks like a kid you see in high school, like right now.
Yeah,
If you
he
do high school
still
media-
looks like a high school
Yeah.
kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what they'll do with Tom Holland's Spider-Man. I mean, they're gonna copy from the game though. They'll definitely copy from this game. Yeah, I'm not surprised. I mean, when that game came out, I was like, what, 14?
This game?
Yeah, Five Nights at Freddy's. So, like, the people who are like my age, they probably want to go see it too.
It's doing very well in audiences score Rotten Tomatoes, but the critics hated it. I guess most of the critics
Yeah.
are over 35. I guess I don't.
Yeah, they don't. I don't know. People say it's like only for fans, which, I mean, I did like used to watch a lot of the lore video. There's a lot of lore with that game. It's really weird.
Yeah.
A lot of creepy, disturbing stuff in it. So I was curious when they announced the movie. I haven't seen it. I want to go see it.
We don't. It's on Peacock, right? But we don't get.
Yeah, it's on Peacock, but we don't
Can we
have
get
that
it?
here.
Can we get it here on demand or something? Do you know?
I might have to check and look. Because, yeah, I did want to see. I mean, I know what happens in it, but I'm curious to see why people think it's bad.
Anthony, we don't get Peacock in Canada.
Yeah, we don't
Peacock's
have
not-
Peacock here.
Peacock's not doing very. Don't be surprised if Peacock is not around in a few years. They're losing a lot of
Yeah,
money.
I can see that. Well, all these streaming services, I think now they're going to pivot and change. Like,
They might have to.
who
with
was
the-
adding ads during like pause?
I'm telling you, in 3 years, there's gonna be another writer strike. Or a prediction.
I mean, I can see in the next 3 years, I think the subscriptions are going to change dramatically. That's my prediction. I
Maybe,
think there's going
yeah.
to be more ads. I think there's going to be I think anything that's
They're
on a
gonna have
premium
to. They're gonna have
tier.
to pay them, right? They're gonna have to pay them more money. They're gonna have to and it's gonna cost us the money. It's gonna cost us.
I can't see them like putting ads on the premium tier just yet.
Yeah.
I think that will come eventually. because I really do think this whole streaming thing, I think it's eventually going to burst. I think people are going to catch on, or the studios are going to realize, yeah, there's no real money in doing this. So we got to like go back to the old model while also
Yeah.
supporting the streaming services.
Mhm.
And then at that point, it might just fizzle down. Like even Disney Plus, I think, like Disney Plus in the States, I really don't understand why people pay for Disney Plus in the States. I really don't get it. Like you
Hey,
guys are
it's
getting
going up.
ripped off.
Anthony, it's going up with the writer strike over with. It's going up now.
Yeah. Well, it's going up, but then you're gonna have to watch ads. That's what's gonna happen. It's gonna go up. It's gonna be more expensive, and there's advertisements. So then it's gonna be like cable TV,
when the
except
actors
it's on
get
demand.
when the actors get a deal done, and they get more money, more benefits, with more residuals, right, percentage, whatever. I think we paid a price despite us supporting them.
Right. That's what's gonna happen. I hope people realize, right? Like,
Yeah.
and not cry and complain.
Yeah.
Right.
And if that's gonna happen, some people are gonna cancel streaming services, and they may not make as much money. I mean, they probably have a lot of money still, but they're gonna use the same excuse this year with the
and also too, I don't think there's gonna be a lot of content anymore. I think they're gonna be very wise.
They might be more picky on what to showcase, right, on the streaming services, right? They might be cutting down, and that's gonna be less jobs for writers and actors.
Right.
And well, the writers might be like, and the writers might be like, what the hell? They screwed us. This is a way for getting back at us for caving into us.
Right.
Because let's be honest, the studios caved into them. The writers did not cave in. The studios caved in.
Yeah, I don't know. This whole the whole industry is gonna have to evolve and adapt correctly. But even Disney, like I feel like Disney's not in a good position at all.
No.
I don't know what will change for Disney, but
Mickey Mouse.
I don't know. I feel like Disney. I really don't understand what is the point of Disney Plus in the States. Like they have to really change that because you're paying. How much is for in the US? Is it like $10 or $11?
It's like 15 here, isn't it, Canada?
Yeah,
13 or 14.
13 or 14. Yeah, I don't pay for it anymore. But
it used to be.
Yeah,
less.
I think
it used to be like.
It used to be like 8.
Yeah,
it used to be 8 or 9. Yeah, so it's gone up now. But like here you have effects. We have the Star tab, right? So, but in the States, like you're only playing Disney Plus for Star Wars, Pixar, Disney, and Marvel.
Yeah, here we have a lot of stuff.
Yeah, so like I don't really understand that. Like they're ripping off their core audience.
It's the opposite of Netflix. Netflix in the States is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it's I don't really understand. Disney, I mean, honestly, I mean, besides some of the stuff Marvel's been putting out, I mean, I really haven't been interested in anything Disney.
I'm telling you, that whole conversation you had on the stream last night with Tony and Finbar and Polsha, I think that made us just more confused.
Yeah, I really don't care. Like for Star Wars, after Mandalorian season 3, I'm like, I'm done with Star Wars. And the only thing I mean, besides the games, I definitely play Star Wars games. But like the TV shows and the movies, I really don't care. I got to be honest. Andor, I will definitely watch because I do like Andor. But I can't keep up. I really can't keep up. Like that, the Mandalorian was such a. Like I really wanted to turn it off, but I kept watching it just because I'm like, okay, I want to see where it goes, and then if I don't like how it ends, then yeah, I'll just tune out, right? So that's why I don't really want to watch Ahsoka and whatever Star Wars show, if it's the Skeleton Crew or the Acolyte or whatever comes next. I'm not. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not going to be watching that. Like I'm not even going to say anything about it because I'm not interested. So yeah, I mean, and it's gonna be like that with Marvel too. If the Marvels is really really bad, yeah, I'm gonna be skipping Marvel movies in theaters. Yeah, because I'm sorry, but like if it's not,
You may only have
we
one
can. I
movie
don't mind
next year anyway.
complaining. Say
For
that again.
Marvel, you may only have one Marvel next movie next year anyway. Captain America.
Well, yeah, and I'm not interested in that movie either, so I'll just skip it. Like I won't even watch it. I haven't watched Shazam and Blue Beetle. I still haven't watched those movies, and I'm like, I don't think I really want to. I don't even really. Oh, I really don't even want to see Aquaman 2. You already know that. I kind of was like,
Yeah.
nah. Yeah, some of the stuff now, it's like, yeah, I don't mind talking about comics, but I'm really not feeling any of the movies and shows that they've been putting out.
I'm just saying the whole Loki thing last night. That's so confusing. I don't know if anything was solved.
Yeah, yeah, okay, I really wasn't even thinking about that until Tony brought that up. I mean, that was actually, I feel like, a valid point. It's just that, like, I kind of tuned it out because the show, it's still, you can see visually, it's a step up. The
Visually,
production value, the way the cinematography is, Tom Hiddleston's acting, like Tom Hiddleston, Loki as a character feels very mature. He feels
The
completely
thing with
different.
Tom Hiddleston, he just has to pick better roles outside of Loki.
I think he's stuck. I mean, we said this yesterday. I think he's stuck as Loki.
Yeah, and that's the problem. He's actually a pretty good actor. It's just that I think he's choosing. I think like maybe the Chris Hemsworth.
I don't. Maybe he doesn't have a lot of opportunities. I don't know, but
I think he's.
I mean, yeah, like with Loki, what the Marvel shows, like, yeah, if they're not, if they don't intrigue me personally, it's not even the reviews anymore. If they don't have an interesting idea or characters I care about, I'm not gonna watch it. Even if because of the strike, I'm not gonna talk about it or see the movie. Oh, that's interesting.
I'm gonna see the movie.
Although
I got tickets, but
I'm going to see it because I've seen the only Marvel movie I didn't see in theaters was because of the COVID, and that was Black Widow. But I've seen every single Marvel movie in the theater, right? So Ant-Man 3, I told you my experience with Ant-Man 3 was it was one of the worst movie experience that I've ever had. I had a massive migraine watching that movie.
I had to watch Black Panther.
Oh man, those are no, but I was like the movie was so bad, and then I had a migraine, and I hated the movie even more to a point where, yeah, I fucking despise the movie. I was in such a terrible mood where I was just like, fuck this movie, fuck. Like I'm sorry, but like that's the mood I was in. Like there were people like clapping and cheering at the post-credit scene, and I was just like, man, come on.
You just snap at them, didn't you?
Yeah, I was like, seriously, we're clapping for fucking Kang jumping up and down like he's having a seizure. Like, come on.
Clapping in a movie. It's my pet peeve.
It's just like it wasn't even like some like major, like okay, yeah, it was a major character like the versions of Kang, right? Ramata and Immortus and okay, but like I'm not gonna get like. I'm not gonna get excited and hyped and just, like no.
Clapping a movie to me is pet peeve because nobody's working on the film. Nobody that worked on the film is live with you. Okay, if you're seeing a premiere, if you're at a premiere and the cast happens to be there, or sometimes they like to sneak in. Sometimes I think the cast sometimes once in a while they'll sneak into a public theater and watch it with the fans, whatever. And if they're there, yeah, clap like at a play. But if you're not there, there's no need to clap.
Yeah, I don't want to clap. It's just, especially for a movie that wasn't even good, I ain't clapping. Oh hell no, I'm not clapping. So it's just, and if the Marvels, I'm just curious. I'm really curious because the one trailer I saw, which by the way, every time I go to the movie theater, I haven't even seen the Marvels trailer. With Guardians of the Galaxy, I didn't see it. With the Flash, I've never actually seen the trailer. I had to go out of my way to see the trailer, which I didn't want to do.
Blue Beetle,
and it was bad. It was bad. It was so the like the third trailer that they released, and I saw that with RJ and Meta, and I was like, I have to be honest, this looks like Ant-Man 3.
I'm sure in Toronto they're showing You're showing the promoting Captain the Marvels in Canada advertisement, right? I forgot what company is doing it. They're showing that more than the trailer on the TV.
Jeez.
A promotion.
If the movie bombs, I know they're gonna. We talked about this. Even Anthony said this. They're gonna use the strikes as an excuse. No, I think the movie bombs because no one is interested in the movie. I don't know anybody who's talking about the Marvels. I don't know, like besides people, even people on Twitter. I feel like, no offense, but I feel like some people on Twitter lie about what they're interested in, because I'm like, there's no way. I'm sorry, but like, there's no way you're defending this movie that doesn't even look that interesting. It just looks like okay, like we've seen this before. There's nothing intriguing in the slightest about it. Like, and I get it, okay, people have their own opinion and stuff like that, but they're just like, it's just on Twitter, it feels like everything is amplified. Like everybody's over exaggerating, like, oh, like I know every single person who's excited about this movie, and oh my god, it's one of my most anticipated movies of like the century. And you're like, are you serious? Like take a step back and relax. Like some people are like, oh, you have to, if you don't watch the Marvels, like then you're like, people are like, oh, you're the. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, like all the people we know that we know so many people that sim for Marvel, that reviewers, they sim for Marvel. They're never really honest about Marvel, you know?
Yeah, and I was saying this yesterday. The scoopers, I'm starting to clue in and realize they're shills. They're shills.
Exactly.
They are the definition of a shill, because they are putting, they realize they can get clicks and views by either making up a bold fucking lie, but also in the process they can make up a lie that somehow affects the movie, right? Like Marvel fans will get excited if the Beast is in the post credits of the Marvels, and if that is the case, I'm sorry,
I don't believe
fuck
it.
the movie.
Whatever.
Fuck the movie if that's the case. I'm sorry. This is the first time I'll do
that
this
rumor
shit.
from 4chan?
No, I think it's from My Time to Shine or Daniel RPK. Who, if that is true, if the Beast shows up in the Marvels, fuck that movie, because it just feels like, first off, it feels, why is that even necessary? Why is Beast randomly showing up? Like no one cares about the movie. No one cares about the movie. So you have to put that in there.
It's like you're saying, this guy's gonna show up to hype up the movie because they know no one cares. Like
they have to use the post.
Yeah.
Like this is becoming like
it did not work for Black Adam, and that was true.
No, it didn't. No movie. No, listen. People who like Marvel and DC, please do not support a movie just because it has a post-credit scene you want to see. Please, if the movie is one of the worst movies of all time, or the movie is really bad and you don't even want to go see it, do not go watch it just because it has a post-credit scene. Please, because this sets a bad precedent.
I want to know what is it a post-credit scene? Okay.
Yeah, it's a post-credit scene. Yes.
They said the exact same thing about Doctor Doom. False.
Yeah, they oh yeah, and then when it got cut out, they're like, oh, they're saving it, and it's like, no, that wasn't even, that was fucking bullshit, because their whole rumor was that, there's a the person who was like, how did they explain it? They said that Ironheart and I guess like the Navy was like, or no, not the Navy. Someone hired that ship to go collect the
Lake Bell character at the beginning. At the beginning, right?
No, do you remember they were in Black Panther 2? They were taking the vibranium. I was gonna say alum. I was gonna say something totally different, but the vibranium, right? They were taking from the sea, right? And then Namor attacked that ship.
Yeah.
So the rumor that these scoopers put out was that the person who hired that ship to take the vibranium was Dr. Doom. Yeah, but it was bullshit. Yeah, because that's not in the movie.
It was American scientists or American government that hired them.
It was, I think, it was the American government, or because like didn't the French too? Where I completely forgot about that movie.
I'll be right back. Cut to you talking.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But but yeah, the Scoopers. If you remember, I'm not sure if you remember this, Anthony, but the Scoopers said that Doctor Doom was behind these these ships collecting the vibranium, and that in the post credit scene it'll be revealed that he took the vibranium, and you see Doctor Doom, right? And that was all fucking bullshit. So and then they were like, oh yeah, when it didn't happen, they were like, oh yeah, that's because the post credit scene is gonna be in another movie down the road. No, no, it's not, because that's not what your original rumor said. It doesn't even make sense.
Doctor Doom has some connection with Wakanda in the comics does not necessarily mean it's going to happen in the films.
No, they said that they always, and then they say vague things. Like My Time to Shine loves to say things that are vague, and you're like, dude, I could have literally said that.
Long as of late.
Yeah, but that's because the strikes are going on, and she's also like was branching out saying a bunch of shit about video games and like
she's not
what
credible.
the fuck. Like now, yeah, she's not credible at all. I don't care what anybody says.
Yes.
Yeah, even exactly. It was never gonna happen. But these people lied, and
I'll tell you a great example. Remember the D3 September of last year, 2022. Obviously, they didn't do one this year because of strikes. Everybody said, "Oh, they're gonna announce the cast of Fantastic Four." Didn't happen, right?
Yeah, that never happened.
They're all changing their rumors. Who's gonna be Sue Storm, Reed Richards.
Remember when they said they had all the Fantastic Four? They have them on lock. That was fucking bullshit.
But they kept changing. Yeah, the thing is they kept changing who she's gonna be Sue Storm. Or this one.
Yeah, or they were saying My Time to Shine, I think, posted a picture and said this is the Fantastic Four. Well, it turns out no, that wasn't even true. Adam Driver is not Reed Richards. So no. What are you gonna do? Now the rumor they're trying to say is that Jake Gyllenhaal is gonna be Reed Richards. I don't fucking believe that.
They do have a cast. They do have the Fantastic Four cast. It's just that Shakeman, the director, is getting also when the strike is over.
But I'm saying have you seen the new rumor that they're putting out? Yeah. Stupid. I don't believe that. Even if that's true, I don't even like that casting. I'm sorry. I like Jake Gyllenhaal, but not as Reed Richards. What the hell? That doesn't make sense to me.
Yes.
Yeah, it was never gonna happen. It's all these scoopers. They thrive off of it's like, dude, anybody who has some comic knowledge and has like some
they do some of them,
or just like knows what is going on in the MCU. You can make up a bunch of bullshit.
Yes,
you make up a bunch of bullshit. Yeah.
Yes. And you can, because you read comics. You could do the exact same thing. Blinded, you could do this.
It's so everybody in the chat could do it. It's so easy to do. It's not hard at all. And she gets clicks because, well, yeah, she got a couple of things right in the past, and so now it's like, oh yeah, but she's credible. But it's like, okay, yeah, but some of the shit that she's reporting on was never, like, no, but like she got, like, I'll give her credit. She got a bunch of stuff right about Doctor Strange and No Way Home. Even if they weren't in the movie, we later found out, yeah, they were going to be in the movie. So she obviously has a track record, but at the same time, recently, I don't know how she's even getting these scoops. They're all bullshit scoops because there was a strike. And on top of that too, how would you know some of the shit that is in development if there's no scripts?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how does she know? Like, okay, she said, who did she say? I think she said either White Tiger or Punisher was going to appear in Daredevil. And you're like, hold on a minute. You're saying this right when they announced that they threw out all the scripts, but you know now apparently that they're going to put these characters in the new scripts. Like, what the fuck? Like, how are we supposed to believe you? Like they literally just said that they're restarting. How do you know that? Like, who's gonna, like, I don't understand. And people just believed it. You're like, you're not even gonna elaborate, like, why, how do you know that? You just know that, right? Like, oh yeah, that's guaranteed to happen, even though they just restarted the fucking show. Like, what? Like, fucking hell, man. Like, Yeah, she lied about Snow White too. Like, yeah, you should pull. Can you pull up My Time to Shine's Twitter so we can read through some of the shit that she says? And also too, like she has that sock account, the toast account.
Is that her? Is that really her?
Yeah, that's her, and she was like lying this entire time about. Well, she wasn't lying. I'll take that
She's
back. But
cinnamon
she was.
toast because
Yeah,
that
she's
person
the
got caught
toast.
lying. That person got caught lying big time.
She's the toast because they reported on something simultaneously,
okay.
and people were like, "Oh yeah, so that means you're fucking My Time to Shine," and then they made a little post like referencing it.
Daredevil.
Was it the White Tiger? What was this?
Okay, yeah, this is Daredevil. Born Again will serve as a soft reboot for the Netflix show, meaning it will share some of its cast members in the history while others will not.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, but there was one that was a lot more specific than this, because that one is just vague. Oh yeah, and then who was saying that the first trailer for Snow White?
She did retweet. Can we get some toast right here?
Yeah, can we get some toast? Like, oh yeah. The Question TV series is in development, is in the works. Okay.
James Gunn would announce that, not her.
How would you know this though? How the fuck would you know this? Seriously, if it's in the works and it's in early, it's not. It's like barely even in pre-production. How would you fucking know this? This is in development.
Yeah, she said this. She said, "Oh,
yeah." Unless someone else said this, she's saying it's in the works. So I don't fucking get it. Oh yeah, and then she said the next episode of Loki is gonna be a filler episode. The same person who's hyping up the Marvels is saying the next episode of Loki's a filler show. I can't trust you. I cannot trust you for the life of me. Like, stop lying. So you got to go when she said that. Look at it. Oh yeah, here. The next Ghostbusters film is called Frozen Empire.
That's a bad name. Ghostbusters Frozen Empire is a bad name. That's a horrible name. It's just a terrible name. I'm sorry.
Well, let's see if it's true. Then it's true. But let's. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Look what it says right there. Five Nights at Freddy's movie sequel is already planned. Well, no shit. No fucking shit. Did you fucking watch the movie? Do you know anything about the game? Of course, there's gonna be a sequel.
Why they said we're planning to make a franchise after two?
Well, yeah, it is a franchise.
Yeah.
The movie literally has a post-credit scene. It's a franchise.
I remember this. I remember her saying that Taika Waititi will return for Thor 5.
Yeah.
Like months.
Yeah, and now it's he won't return. Well, I mean that was Daniel RTK, but yeah.
Toast. Isn't it obvious? Because isn't it obvious?
Yeah, keep. What is this? The problem with Five Nights at Freddy's movie is that there's too much focus on the lore when it should have been much rather. That's fucking stupid.
That's 90%.
It should have been both. In my. No. That take. Look at the comments. I bet the comments are roasting her, because that's a dumb take. Click on the comments. Hold on. Click.
Okay.
On sorry. Let's see what she's, because this is a really dumb take. It says. Mm-hmm. You just contradicted yourself. You want it to completely set up a first restaurant, but you want more animatronics? I mean, let's be fair here. That take makes no sense. That take, like, if it was just a simple horror movie, it's not gonna, like, fans will be pissed. People like Five Nights at Freddy because of the lore.
90%.
That's why there's so many videos on it.
90% of horror movies is simple.
Yeah, but even if this movie is simple, fans would hate it.
Most horror movies don't have good stories. They're very simple stories.
Well, I mean, they are very simple stories. I wouldn't say all like most horror movies. I mean, horror is pretty hard to do, but I don't really understand the take here. Her takes are all over the place. I get they're her opinion, but like it just like sometimes it feels like she says things really to get like points or like brownie points with her fans, right? And then when she says something like this that like people don't like, then the take is like gonna change in a couple of months, where it's like, oh yeah, this should have been a franchise and we should focus on the lore.
This is stupid. You forgot Green Goblin. Oh, I just got a DM. I'll check it off screen. You forgot Green Goblin. Serious. I can't put Green Goblin on that list.
In the entire MCU?
Yeah. Because we didn't really see him. I mean, I guess
I don't. Miss Minutes is not even that psychotic just yet. She's pretty like
creepy.
She's creepy and kind of annoying, and I wouldn't say psychotic just yet. She hasn't done something that is like
psychotic. Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah, he's definitely psychotic. Yeah. Her not so much. She's crazy, but not psychotic.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's keep going through her tweets.
That's a read.
Okay, just like teases something for Loki.
Mm-hmm.
And then, if anyone replaces Kang as the ultimate, no, this is just a.
Yeah, the main villain's gonna be a talking AI clock.
Yeah, no. Yeah, there she goes. She says next episode of Loki is mostly filler.
But how you can't do filler in the 5th episode?
Yeah, that I don't believe it. I don't believe that.
Based on the ending of the 4th episode, how the 5th episode is filler? That's not how it works.
How can it be filler where they edit off on a cliffhanger?
Exactly.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that regardless. Miles' final suit, she's like roasting the game. That's another thing people were complaining about in the game was that suit.
The second last episode is arguably more important than the last episode of finale.
And then you got these people who believe it. Look at that one. That's awful. Every episode this season, it felt really slow. Like, why are you believing? Why are you believing her?
If it's a backstory, then it's not a filler episode.
Yeah, that's what I'm guessing. It's a backstory. It's like something happens, or because there's something with Morbius for sure. For sure, there has to be.
Mobius, not Morbius.
Oh, I said Morbius. Yeah, Mobius.
You're like I caught you there.
Yeah, but I think because there has to be something going on with him.
But that's not filler, though. That's not filler.
No, it's not filler because it's been mentioned before.
Filler episodes filler episodes usually do have something to do with the plot, but it's only a tiny amount. Filler episodes usually stray away from the plot of the season. You can't do that in a 5th episode. Like,
but look how many likes and views are on this. Like, this is absolutely like this is how you throw a wrench. Like, she knew what she was doing. You put out a filler episode, you know people are gonna be pissed. People are gonna be like, what?
It doesn't work with the 5th episode.
Let's watch the episode and then come back to this tweet.
Yeah,
when this happens this week, because this is ridiculous, man. It's really annoying, man. I can't stand My Time to Shine. I can't stand these scoopers. I don't believe her.
People sub to her.
Yeah, she could. Yeah. She.
It's a grift.
She was trying to shill her NFTs and make a bunch of money and stuff. Yeah, that didn't work. Yeah, a filler episode, like, come on. Like, in a 6-episode show, you're gonna say there's a filler episode? Like, I don't believe you. I don't believe a word that you type.
The second last episode is just important as the finale. Okay.
I really, we need to actually see this, because this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. These scoopers. When will people finally pick up on the fact that these scoopers are lying to you? They love to lie to you.
You know, my first thing I got picked up on that. They don't have a real name. They don't put the actual name.
No, they don't put their real name. Now that Elon pays for tweets, of course she's gonna freaking abuse her credibility. She's gonna put out a bunch of lies, get a bunch of views, and now she's getting shit from Elon Musk.
I can't believe Toast is really her. Wow.
Yeah, they're don't trust a word these scoopers say. That's my PSA today.
At least when Grace Randolph gets things right, at least she has a name, right?
Even Grace Randolph, man. Everybody should listen to Grace Randolph to understand why you never put your faith in these people. Okay, do not take their word. Always be skeptical. Come up with your own freaking opinion about entertainment. Okay, because Grace Randolph, I'm surprised. Grace, listen, I like Loki, but Grace Randolph is saying like this is the best thing ever created. Are you okay? Are you okay? Seriously, is this is what it's become? Like, and have you noticed this too? That Grace Randolph is very strange. Okay,
Yeah, I know.
It seems like with Marvel recently, maybe besides Secret Invasion, she like what's the word? It's, I don't want to say hype, but like she like adores whatever Marvel's been putting out recently, like so much, and like praising it and giving it so much credit, and then like just a couple months later she ends up shitting on it. Like she ends up criticizing it like heavily. She did this with Black Panther 2, where she would like praise the, I'm pretty sure it was Black Panther 2, unless I forget. But she praised Black Panther 2, loved the movie, and then like a couple months later, she was like, "Yeah, like they messed up on that movie. They should have never done that," and blah blah blah. And you're like, "Huh?"
Maybe she plays both sides, Grace. I think she's the one.
I get your opinion can change, but like she does that like way too frequently.
I think she played both sides of the Snyder Cult and not the Snyder Cult. Because remember, she said the Warner Brothers is looking to bring back the Snyderverse. It's Justice League 1 and 2. It's not the Zack Snyder coming back. And then she said, "Oh, that was never gonna." Now, in a year later or 2 years later, whatever. Yeah, they're not. That's not happening. Stuff like that's not happening. I think she likes to play both sides.
Because like she's like her Loki reviews are bizarre, really bizarre.
She should never talk about video game movies ever.
Did you see? Yeah, she definitely should talk about video games. But did you see what she said? Okay, so and you know in the third episode when Miss Minutes kind of like superimposes her face onto the mannequin?
Yeah, the mannequin. Yeah.
Did you see what Grace Randolph said about that?
No.
She said that was like one of the greatest images she's ever seen, ever.
Really?
Like it gave her chills, and it was like that was like the greatest thing I've ever seen. Go play the clip. I'm not making this up. You have to find the clip for this. This is like, I after that I stopped watching her.
If you
Loki
can find
reviews.
it, DM me in the.
Oh damn! I can't DM. It's her Loki episode 3.
Oh, how long is it?
It's not long. If you just pull it up, and we could find it very quickly. But like this is a clip you need to see, because this is why would you say why, like I don't get it. Why would you say something like that? Like it wasn't even like it was like it wasn't even that creepy. Like when it happened, I was just like, okay, yeah.
Is it the one
like, the greatest thing you've ever seen?
Is it the spoiler Easter eggs ending explain breakdown or?
No, I think it's in the main review. It's the main review for episode 3. Oh, I can't even pull up the comments. Oh, what's up, Blue Jay? She definitely played both sides for the Snyderverse. She doesn't even like the Snyderverse. She did that because she knew she can rile up a fan base, get them to watch her videos, and then once it's all done and she doesn't have use for them, she just throws them away. And now in her box office like results or movie math, whatever she calls it, she I haven't seen that video, but she's video games.
Is it Loki season 2? No
spoilers episode 3. like skim through the video until you find the image
What's the title
of
Because I don't see
Miss Minutes on the mannequin.
I don't see it.
Okay, wait, and let me find. I'm gonna find it, but I gotta come out because I'm on my phone.
I do have. Okay.
Give me a second.
Okay, I'm gonna mute myself for a bit. The worst boss fight in Spider-Man 2? I would say Mysterio. I expected more from Mysterio. Blinded will come back. I'm just looking for the clip. Okay? Just Michelle Metzler's portrayal in episode 3 of Loki season 2 reminds her of Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman. Blinded, when you get back on, you gotta hear that. Did you hear that? Okay, I'm gonna bring this up. Okay. Blinded.
Okay, I'm here. So you're at the part 21. Like go to 21 minutes. That's when you want to watch the whole entire thing.
Exactly what 20. Well, before I get to that, she said when Metzler was betrayed by Timely, and Metzler had like a Michelle. She reminded her of Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman. Did you see that? Did you hear that?
Yeah, I didn't. I don't remember that.
I'll get back to it.
I didn't remember actually her saying that. But
I'm at 21. Where am I?
Yeah, play it because you have to get the context and then
well, at least we'll see. But Victor Timely don't do partners, right? Loki and Mobius, of course, from season 1 have both learned to do partners, and look how much it's helping them. So I thought that was great.
That sounds right.
Renslayer, by the way, also has a very inflated sense of self-importance because she's like, the TVA fell apart as soon as I left. And you're like, it's because He Who Remains was killed. And your lack of leadership and effectiveness is what allowed that to happen. And then, of course, Miss Minutes. Again, I can't believe what they ended up doing with this character. It totally changes all of her merch. But again, that's why I love the choice so much. It's a bold swing. I loved when she made herself at first, old school animation, right? Not just the eyes, but did you catch the shoes? I mean, that is such incredible attention to
Miss
detail, which
Minutes
is
and
important.
Grace Randolph seem to have a lot in common.
She have an orgasm, a crush over Miss Minutes? Is that what she's having here?
Well, yeah, because it's a reflection of herself.
Yeah, it probably is. I think you're right.
Coming from a place like Disney, which has been, has covered so much of animation and really, to some degree, has been there the whole time. So that was great. And to go from this cute little animated clock to Judge Frollo, another time that Disney really went for it in a very adult way. Okay. I mean, it's just fantastic. Adult? And also the amazing visual, as I said, of her face on that mannequin was just so haunting. I loved it. It will become a classic MCU moment.
Wait for it. Nope.
And again, I never saw it coming. Did you see it coming? I mean, when she was acting a little bit weird on the boat, I was like, is Miss Minutes jealous? But I never thought it would go as far as it did. Even when I was watching Miss Minutes start to reveal how she felt, I didn't think that. I guess I never thought that Disney Marvel would allow it to go that far. And when it did, I think they took it as like a little bit further than they could, and it was just really well done. And then, yes, this is still the Loki show, and Loki had some great moments here himself. I particularly like them running into basically the Norway Pavilion, Epcot fans.
Maybe it's at the ending?
It's the Chicago World's Fair with Odin, Thor, and Balder. No mention of Loki as a true friend and partner for the full magic.
Because she still has that same
Canadian cannabis at Bloom Supply.
Yeah, because she still has that same image,
right? I was like, I'm on to you.
With the mannequin on it, and she says it's like one of the greatest things she's ever seen, and like she pauses and she says that, but it's not what she says there. It was a lot more like, really? Are you serious? So look for an image with here.
Okay. That's incredible. So that's my breakdown of Loki Season 2, Episode 3. And we're halfway through the season now. Again, I wish there were more episodes. But there aren't.
Hold on.
What do you think of the show? What do you think of the show so far? And are you excited for next week when Victor Timely comes to the TVA? We saw the three of them go through the door. What's going to happen when they come out the other side? Next week is the last episode I've seen. You got to look. Next week is a doozy.
Because next
week's episode is the one that actually got me to gasp out loud. Twice.
Hold on.
Well, I only actually gasped out loud.
Give me a second again.
He's coming back, guys. She said some very weird stuff in that video, like Miss Minutes' face on a mannequin is a classic MCU moment. Really? Nobody really? Nobody's talked about that. About that. If that's a classic MCU moment, then MCU is truly dead. Okay,
I decided to look on it on my iPad instead of doing it on my phone.
Okay.
Because my phone was dying too, so I had to put it charge.
I just can't believe she said her Miss Minutes' face on the mannequin is a MCU moment. I'm like, what?
Yeah, it wasn't even just that. She said it was one of the greatest things she's ever seen.
Oh, then
it's like, what? Are you serious? Like,
what's the criteria thing? Because that's a pretty low bar, if you ask me.
Yeah. Okay. Because it's like that same. Okay, wait. I found it. It was way early on.
Oh, it was way early in that episode? Where in that episode?
Yes.
The same...
Around like four minutes.
Oh, okay. I'll put it back. I still have it here. I just got to share it again. 4 minutes. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Family fled to the United States in 1979. Ferrani started out as a concept artist at Marvel, working on some of their biggest projects. Then he got promoted to production design for Loki season 1, and now here he is moving up to directing and co-writing. I mean, isn't that great? I mean, he did a little bit outside of Marvel, but for the most part, this is certainly his first major gig in the directing and writing roles. And I think he knocked it out of the park. It's so exciting to see the many different places that talent can come from. And while, of course, it is important and fantastic for people to be able to tell the stories of their own culture so those stories come across as more authentic and organic, nobody should be restricted to just those stories. And look how much Ferrani added to the story of Loki and Kang. Oh, I love it. Loki, my favorite moments, definitely Miss Minutes revealing her physical attraction to He Who Remains, basically wanting to be a real woman and a twisted take on Geppetto and Pinocchio. Also, a longtime staple of science fiction stories about creators and their creations. It doesn't always, but sometimes that's the point of the creation for those kinky stories. But then sometimes the relationship goes out of control. I thought it was great. It's even a little bit like the romantic flirtations in Blade Runner. Oh, I loved it. I love the look on Victor Timely's face. I was also very uncomfortable. I was like, my goodness. And I never saw it coming. It was so great. That visual of Miss Minutes' face on that mannequin's body. It's one of the greatest things I ever saw. I loved it.
There you go. Wasn't lying. Why would she say such a thing? Why would she say such a thing? I don't understand.
It made her uncomfortable. Why did it make you uncomfortable? You're not.
Well, I mean, it was supposed to be uncomfortable, but like to say I'm just astonished. That was the greatest thing you ever seen. Holy shit, man! I mean, like
that's a major exaggeration on her part. You know that's not true for me.
I know, like that's definitely like why would you just like? I just don't get it. I really don't get it. Why would you say something like that? Because it's not like that's not even close to being true.
Oh my god. Blinded. Oh.
Like this is why Grace. This is why you can't turn away. Like all the movies that like Grace likes versus what she hates is it really astonishing. Like again, everybody has their own opinions, but it's just really weird what she hates Peacemaker. She refuses to review Peacemaker, but then in the same like time she's like, oh, like we should never like put down a movie or bully a movie or like
Loki season 2 is good. Peacemaker's still better in Loki season 2.
Wait, what? Say that again? Oh, Peacemaker's better than Loki season 2. Yeah, I would agree.
I'm sorry. It's still better.
But Grace Randolph is obviously going to say no, like all these people are watching Loki and therefore Peacemaker's not good or something like that. She always has to use the box office as like a reason of why movie
Loki is a major
is good or bad.
Loki is a major character from a successful universe that's been over a decade, and characters over a decade got hugely popular comparing it to a character like Peacemaker, who is really not very well. It's like lower tier DC characters, very barely known. I'm sorry, there's no comparison. You can't compare the two.
Yeah, she says a lot of crazy things. I mean, she in her. By the way, that review that she did on Killers of the Flower Moon was really bad. But in that review, she says, "Do you know Terrence Malick, right? The director."
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she said that he had no talent. Terrence Malick has no talent whatsoever, and none of his movies are good. That's a crazy claim to make. I'm sorry.
That's the thing about her, right? There's the opposite, right? Whether she likes, it's the opposite.
No, but even as I keep saying, it's one thing to say about your opinion, but Grace always likes to say things as if it's like objective fact. It's like, yeah, Terrence Malick. Everybody agrees Terrence Malick is not talented. What? Like, I don't. I really don't get it. I really don't understand. And also in that review, she just comes off super ignorant, which is really funny. Because she's trying to be like, this movie's not progressive and it doesn't understand the native cultures and things like that. And then people had to like come in the comments and explain to her, like, hey, yeah, what you're saying doesn't even make sense. It's like here's the history of it. This is why it happened. And then it's like, oh, okay.
Oh, she is so she doesn't know what she's talking about most of the time. Let's just say that.
Yeah, no, she doesn't know.
I'm gonna call her Opposite Grace. That's her new name, Opposite Grace.
Yeah, Grace just says, I don't know, she just says things that like, I don't know, like, and her fans just like continue to support it. I'm glad though sometimes like people do check her in the comments. Like, if you do go on that Killer of the Flower Moon review, like, people actually are like, what the hell, right? Like, there's so many things that are just, you're saying that's just like bullshit. It's like inaccurate.
She doesn't understand sometimes. I think she doesn't understand the point of movies or what movies are trying to tell at times.
I don't even think Grace Randolph believes movies can be art. I don't even think Grace Randolph believes in the idea of art, to be honest.
What?
Yeah, because she just, like, the things she says is like really bizarre. It's like it's one thing, like, yeah, I criticize a lot of things and stuff like that, but like, Grace just feels like if a movie doesn't financially succeed, she feels like, yeah, it should never have been made, and like, it's for nobody, right? If you make a movie that is for only a specific audience, then no, you know, like, it's not worthy of being made. It's a really weird stance to have. Grace is a really, really weird person. I'm sorry. Probably one of the weirdest people on YouTube.
Oh yes.
Yeah, he's that was also yeah. I'm not gonna lie, that was stupid. I'm sorry. And his whole did you see his whole reasoning for that?
No,
Aaron?
I know some theaters put on.
No, but like, why there's no intermission? Why the studio didn't put? So Martin Scorsese says that people can watch a TV show for 5 hours, so he feels like watching a movie for 3 hours is not a big deal. So that's why there's no intermission, which I think is really stupid.
Oh, there's streaming, right? You can take breaks in a movie. You can't really do that.
apparently, yeah. Martin Scorsese doesn't understand.
Take.
Yeah, that's a boomer take.
And you can miss. I could watch a TV episode of like the first episode of Stranger Things, and then take a break and then watch the next episode an hour or 2 hours later. So you could take intermissions watching TV shows, or you could actually pre-record too. Like it's not logical take. That's a boomer take. That's really just somebody should tell Martin Scorsese there's something called streaming.
Yeah, I don't understand that whole take he had. I think that was like super ignorant.
How long is the movie? 3 hours and what?
3 hours and 26 minutes. It's a very long movie. It's a good movie, a very good movie that I think is important. So I feel like you should put an intermission. Like, if I was Martin Scorsese, I would say, hey, put intermission so more people could see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should definitely watch it when it comes to like Apple Plus, or if it's still in the theater and you want to go on like a Tuesday, definitely go check it out. It's a very good movie. Yeah, and they do. I do think some of these filmmakers are a little bit ignorant when it comes to these running times. Yeah, Apple, they were asking theaters to stop. Like,
Marvel,
I mean, yeah,
Marvel
they're
on the other
violating a
hand,
contract, but yeah.
Marvel on the other hand decided to make shorter movies. Remember, they used to be two. I mean, they're not long as these movies, but they used to be 2.5 hours. Now they decided to cut them to at least 2 hours, or maybe now under less than 2 hours. Some of them.
Yeah, the Marvels is less than 2 hours, but I think that's because the movie's a mess.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
think there's
true.
anything to do in the movie, so it doesn't need to be long. I'm I really want these reviews to come out. I want these reviews to come out really badly just so I could see. I want to see the
What?
movie now.
The day before the releases.
Yeah, the ones I want to see what those reviews look like. I want to see who's shilling, who's not shilling. I want to see who's giving their honest opinion about the movie.
I just heard a rumor from a good source of mine, Degrassi. No, I'm kidding, Degrassi, not from you, but a good source of mine saying the after credit scene of Marvels is Brie Larson's Captain Marvel going to every Phantom Menace's house and punching him in the face.
Oh man.
Hilarious. I would see the movie.
It would be hilarious if there was no post-credit scene. That would be really funny.
Oh, what's the last Marvel movie that had no post-credit scene?
Endgame.
Endgame? Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot about that. Yeah, it didn't need one. You're right.
Yeah, I didn't need one.
That might be the only movie that had one. Oh, Batman was felt so long? I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like that's fair. Batman does seem like they could have cut out some parts. I think it's like they had 2-3 acts. It's very weird.
The trilogy, the Dark Knight trilogy movies were long too. Not as long as the Batman, but they're pretty long. Yeah,
they're pretty long. They just need to make sure these movies are like tight and because like let's be honest, most people don't want to be sitting around and watch a 3-hour movie. Like I think it's a little excessive. It depends on the movie though, right?
It's not like a sporting event where you could take a break in between because there's intermissions.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they used to do intermission. Was actually a very common thing, right?
Yeah, they used to do intermissions, and then they just went away.
They do intermission at non-televised wrestling events. Like when I go really every when it's in Toronto, non-televised shows wrestling. They'll have usually the show's about 3.5 hours. They'll have to do an hour and a half of wrestling, and then they'll have a 15 intermission break for the fans because it's long, and then they'll finish the show. For the televised live events, they don't have intermission because it's televised. But when, if you're paying attention, when there's an intermission. It's when there's an intermission at a. It's not intermission per se. It's more of a commercial. You'll know when there's a commercial going on at a televised event. Wrestling. That's basically your intermission. It's more like 2 to 3 minute intermission because you don't have a 10 to 15 minute intermission obviously at a televised event. But you have to know when at a televised wrestling event when to take your break.
Right.
And other sports, hockey you have intermission when the period ends. Basketball, you do halftime. Football, they all have that. Because you don't want to sit somewhere for 3 hours straight. It's hard sitting in a seat for 3 hours.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, and they, like, people are going to eat and drink, like, yeah, I feel like it's, that logic is really stupid. Oh, because people sit on their couch for 5 hours, I guess they could handle it. Like, that's so stupid. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's insanely stupid.
There's COD. You'll take it. There's COD. Like it's COD streaming, and you could take breaks at home. It's not stupid. Anybody should be able to figure that out. What the hell is people talking about? People can sit at home and watch 5 hours. Yeah, you can pause stuff, right? And you could get. And you know what the thing is? A movie or TV show can still go on. You can still pause it, or you could leave it going on. Go get something to eat. Take you 2 minutes. Done. Whatever. It's stupid. It's like, what I should do, Degrassi? Actually, Degrassi, everybody else. Everybody, when we go to the theaters, what we should do? If there are no intermissions, if you have to go to the bathroom, maybe tell someone at the theater, say, "Can you pause the movie for me? I got to go to the bathroom." We should all do that, huh? We should do that. It should be the new thing, the new norm with movies. I would laugh so hard. So we do that. Oh man. Yeah. Martin Scorsese is just good director, obviously. He's just the boomer mindset because he is an older man.
Yeah, a lot of these filmmakers, I feel like they just, I don't know, they want to make a good movie, but I feel like they kind of ignore the fact that, like, you know, an audience is watching this movie, right? People are paying to see this movie. So you kind of have to, like, be considerate too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Especially if so, like I said, the movie is an important movie, so I feel like when you want to cater to the most amount of people because it's something that people should watch and understand and realize, like, oh yeah, this is part of history, right? I don't know. It's very weird. It's very weird type of thinking.
It is. But the thing is, very important history. It's not a biopic. It's not a biopic, but it's important history. But I'm sorry, but it's not like Oppenheimer or whatever.
Well, it is. It's probably way more important than Oppenheimer. I mean, Oppenheimer, like, yeah, Oppenheimer is important, but like, you didn't need to know that movie.
Oh,
you didn't need to watch that movie to know nuclear weapons are bad, right?
It's just that
that's what it is.
World War II, I guess. World War II. I don't want to compare. I guess World War II is more of a bigger topic discussion than what Flower Moon.
But it's
Native
the same,
American, right? Native
no,
American,
but it's the exact same. No, I don't agree with that. Sorry, it's the exact same thing. And like, this movie's about Native genocide. It's literally a town of like these like.
That's because I think it's because let's be honest.
You have to watch the movie. I'm telling you, watch the movie because the trailer's not going to do it justice.
Let's be honest. It's natives don't.
It's all the same stuff, like the genocide. It's just covert genocide.
I think it's because we don't. North America doesn't treat the natives well.
No, yeah, they don't. I didn't know about this story. I'm sure a lot of people don't know about this story. It did happen in America, right? But
that's the reason why it's not like Oppenheimer. That's no.
No, I mean, Oppenheimer is a like that's a good movie. I would suggest a lot of people watch that movie, but like I said, it's not like nuclear war is bad and how complex it is. Like, Oppenheimer's not really saying or showing something that's entirely new or fresh. Mm-hmm. Well, this movie, it's like, yeah, this is a story that's not been told, right? It's not a story that's been out there. Yeah, it's based on the book, but how many people read the book?
Like Native American history and especially in media, in the entertainment, they kind of rarely decide to make movies and TV shows about that. It's actually getting a little better, obviously. I think it's getting a little better. It's actually there's becoming more content with showcasing Native Americans, right?
But even so, I think because the actress of this movie, I don't know her name, but she's Leonardo DiCaprio's wife in the movie. Is that her name? The actress, yeah. Is that her name? I don't know. I don't know her name.
Let me check. I think that's her name.
Yes, it is Gladstone. Yes, you're right.
She's Native American in real life, right? Obviously.
Yeah, she's Native American. I don't know what.
She doesn't have a Native American name. Her parents are, but like her father doesn't. That's not a Native American name. I mean, she probably has
Gladstone. She said, well, she was raised on a reserve, and then she moved to Seattle.
Changed her name. I think she changed her name. Because Gladstone is not a Native American. That's a Jewish last name.
Unless she's mixed. She does look pretty mixed. Let me see. Gladstone, I don't know, Yeah, she has.
Doesn't
Yeah,
say.
it's does seem like she has like a mixed background. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, but so I was saying that this actress, she was talking about how
He,
is it Yellowstone the show?
hmm
Yeah, she was talking about that how that show she was like almost casted in it, and then she kind of didn't want to do the show because she felt like it was playing into stereotypes
Kevin
of
Costner,
Native
right?
people.
Kevin
Yeah,
Costner show.
yes, and yeah, and so it's like yeah, there is representation, but I do feel like the representation is more akin to. I mean, people are. I don't like saying all the woke stuff. I think that term is overused, and I don't think it's correctly used. What I see it as is more check box. We need like these specific people to show up in the movie. We need to have this sort of message, even though it's a message that there's no complexity to it. Because I said last night, I'm not sure if you were there when I said last night, like I think the Little Mermaid movie, I don't have a problem with race bending the character, right? What I have a problem with is if you're gonna if you're gonna make the movie where you are race bending the character, why don't you play up the fact that the character is being race bent, right? The Little Mermaid movie, the animated movie, actually has characters who sound like they're from the Caribbean, right? Like I can't remember, the crab has the Jamaican accent and things like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, I did see they had to change
So
it.
why didn't you make the movie more reflective of Caribbean culture, right? And then that actually makes sense that why the character is now being race bent because it takes place in the Caribbean.
He sounds
But they
yeah,
didn't
he's
do that.
Jamaican, yeah.
Yeah, because then you can have Jamaican, you can have Trinidadian,
Which
you
you
can
can't
have
have
all these people from the
you can't have,
Caribbean.
you can't have a Jamaican actor do the voice for him. Like,
Yeah, you can cast people from that region, to play certain characters, right?
mhm.
Because then it feels like that actually makes sense. That actually feels like you're playing into something. It's not a checkbox. You're actually telling a story within that region, and you're trying to reflect that region, right? But they didn't do that. Instead, it's just sort of like, yeah, she's just a black mermaid now, and her sisters are all these different races, and you're like, okay, so it's just Little Mermaid where everybody's now different. Everybody's has a different background. I don't really see this point of that. Why not have a story that is very specific to one background, right? Make movies that are about people's backgrounds, not just the characters now. Like I don't, yeah, that's another problem too, right? Like when people complain about Miles, right? People always think, oh, Miles is like, look at what Eric July says. He says a lot of fucking shit that doesn't even make sense. And Miles Morales is a Tolkien character. That's
What?
not what Tolkien. Yeah, that's what he says. He's a Tolkien.
Oh, I remember
he's a
that.
Tolkienization. Yeah, he likes to say shit like that. That doesn't even make sense. Yeah, he created the word Tolkienism. Eric July is the one who created Tolkienism. Are you serious?
Tolkienism has been around a lot longer.
It's way before fucking Eric July even could scam people. Come
South
on.
Park had a character named literally Tolkien.
Yeah, it's just bizarre that he says that. But like Miles Morales, no, that was actually a good thing about the Across the Spider-Verse. They show different cultures, but it wasn't just like, oh, here's Indian Spider-Man and that's it. It's like, no, you actually went into his world and you saw his whole culture, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of these movies don't do that. It's just like, here's the black character, here's the Indian guy, here's the Chinese guy, here's the and you're like, okay, yeah, but what about their culture? Like, I don't know their culture. I don't know where they're from. Why don't you teach people? Why don't you show people, right? That's the problem, I feel like. It's not that it's the woke thing. It's that it's just shoehorned in without any sort of purpose. There's no thought of, okay, if the character's black, they wouldn't do certain things, right? Because of their upbringing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like there's all different types of jokes that the black community has about, like, like in a horror movie, right? Like most black people wouldn't be doing the shit
Oh,
that people do in a
like the,
or the
like the
white
joke
people
about,
do in a horror movie.
like the joke to always die first.
Well, that's the trope, yeah, but like that
Yeah.
would probably never happen, right? Like like it gets made fun of. So it's like, I don't know. So that's my problem with a lot of like the whole woke idea, I guess, or pandering, or whatever you want to call it. It's not sincere. Look at Grace Randolph. Grace Randolph is another person who I feel like is never sincere. She wants to represent these communities, but she doesn't care. She doesn't know them. She doesn't want to be part of them. So, but yeah, I can't believe it's been 2 hours.
I know. It's actually been a good 2 hours. Actually.
Yeah, I've been rambling a lot.
You know what? It's fun. What we talked about, a lot of Marvel stuff, a lot of.
Yeah, a lot of different.
So what's going on with Spider-Man comics? Like, not really good so far.
Yeah, I don't keep up with the Amazing Spider-Man, but they have the Ultimate one that they just announced with where he's like an adult and he's got like kids. I'm curious about that. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna check that out.
Isn't Marvel in general not doing well comic-wise?
I mean, there's some good comics. I have to be honest, I haven't really been reading anything like comics wise. I wanted to read Immortal Thor. That was like the comic I really wanted to read.
Yes. For now.
He retired for a bit in the game. Yeah, that's it.
But you still play as him at the end, so he technically didn't really retire. I don't know.
He's retired until the next game. Put it that way.
Yeah, because
we'll probably get other games. We'll probably get a Venom game or a Miles Morales 2. We really don't know. Insomniac is busy, right?
Wolverine's next. Like Wolverines are big.
Yeah.
Who
knows? Who knows? We could see maybe Spider-Man appears in Wolverine.
Hey.
We don't know.
I'll get a Reb Collar.
Yeah, now that they're both connected, that if you're gonna say that they're both connected, the best way to show that is a cameo, right?
Mm-hmm.
A mention, something shows up.
Yeah, that's because, of course, Casali, because Green Goblin, I think, well, we don't know, but I think you'll find out that Spider-Man is Peter Parker, and Peter Parker best friends with Harry. Yeah, so I think, obviously he's gonna, Peter will have to come back in the game because this is personal, right? And what's worse, is finding out Peter is Spider-Man. That's worse.
Yeah, that's gonna be way worse. Yeah, and that's probably what the next game's gonna be about, is the Green Goblin trying to find out Spider-Man's identity too.
And finding
what would happen?
Once he finds out Peter is Spider-Man, he's gonna lose his sanity even more.
Right.
Yeah, I did. I think it was fine for this game. It worked. The story worked with it because he needed a symbiote to survive. They wrote it perfectly how Venom and Harry Osborn worked in this game. Because it makes it a lot more emotional when you have Peter fighting his best friend. And he doesn't want his friend to die, but he knows the Venom symbiote is not good for him.
Right. He doesn't really have a choice, right?
Yeah. It's like, it's one of those things where like the hero doesn't really win here. Okay. He saves the day, but he loses a friend in the process. Could potentially lose a friend in the process. Okay. That's the ultimate sacrifice of being a hero.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see that. We'll see with Green Goblin, Chameleon, Carnage, aka The real, aka this
You
guy.
ain't gotta protect me from Cletus. Come on, Cletus. Come on. Come over here.
Keep it. That to Cletus. Come on, Cletus.
No. Oh man.
Venom just say that. You'll have to protect me from Cletus. Come on, Cletus. Come on, Cletus. It's actually pretty. So I can't wait to fight Carnage. I'm almost a homicidal maniac, and like, even I hope he's not a side mission. Okay. Like, I seriously hope he's not a side mission because I want his fight to just be as big as Venom. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna be a side mission. It sounds like it's a setup. So
yeah. Venom to me, like, it's gonna take more than Miles and I think Peter to take down Venom. I mean Carnage, because Carnage is a lot more dangerous than Venom. Because this instead of a good person, a good natured person in Harry, you have a sadistic cult-like figure in Cletus Cassidy, psychopath, sociopath, whatever you want to call him, and with the Carnage symbiote, it's more psychotic than the Venom symbiote. You just know it's a lot more, that just makes up the worst kind of recipe for disaster. Right? Because we all know Carnage has always been more dangerous than Venom in the comics, even in other forms of media.
Yeah, we did talk about that. They're most of so Rhino, Vulture, we don't know about Electro, but Shocker, Scorpion, they are dead in this game. Tombstone is not dead.
No,
I don't think he's dead.
You save him.
Yeah, you save him.
You rescue
right,
him.
yeah, you do save him. I forgot. Yeah, you and Harry save him.
Yeah.
Mysterio went away, and they hint that he's going to come back. Sandman is locked up. Black Cat is obviously in Paris. So, yeah, but most of the villains of the first game, except for obviously like the ones that we mentioned, and Martin Lee and Dr. Ock, yeah, they're dead. So.
Yeah, Doc Ock's was prison because Doc Ock obviously they wouldn't let him escape because he didn't have the tentacles, right? So
right.
There's no point in Craven going after him.
Yeah, Craven wouldn't go after him anyway, right?
I think they have bigger plans for Doc Ock. I think we're going to see Doc Ock again.
Craven did go. The only character who I am confused by, I don't think we mentioned this. Maybe we did. But in the beginning of the game, you see all the characters that Craven wants to hunt, and one of them was Taskmaster. So, but Taskmaster's not in the game.
I think Taskmaster.
Yeah, but he's not in the game.
I know.
So what happened? Clearly, he's in New York, but what happened to him?
I don't even know what Taskmaster's in the series, but Taskmaster could take. Yeah.
It would have been nice to see Taskmaster again.
I like all those other villains. Taskmaster could probably take Craven.
Yeah, he probably could.
But yeah, Doc Ock. They have other plans. Insomnia, because I think we're gonna fight Doc Ock again. You know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They have Doc Ock, so
it might be my.
Are we gonna find him again, or is it gonna be Superior Spider-Man?
Either that, or one of my hot takes. What if they might reform him again? They might do this typical reform Doc Ock.
Maybe, yeah.
Because they've been doing they reformed 3 villains in this one game. I won't be surprised if they reform Doc Ock, because maybe Peter will try to.
Well, maybe he's gonna ask for help because Norman is gonna go after Dr. Octopus.
Or the way he mocked him at the end.
Yeah, I feel like Dr. like because of their whole falling out, I don't think he's gonna give up that easily.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is true. That is actually true. They never explained that, and it's not explained in this game either. So it's either not relevant or it's something that is maybe gonna come back around. I don't know.
Never followed.
That is true. I did forget about that. Yeah.
Norman Osborn.
Yeah, and Taskmaster, I mean, there's a lot of stuff too. Like, um, I mean, it does. This game does establish that Doctor Strange and Wong are aware of Spider-Man, so they do have
That's
to pay
funny.
back that favor.
That was so funny though. Miles thought he was gonna be like he was able to find Martin Lee, and then Wong takes back the teleportation device. And can leave him
Yeah,
alone. Like, I was amazing how Black Cat was able to break in and steal it, and for a while.
yeah, that was a cool mission where you gotta like go through the portals and stuff.
Yeah, it would have been fun if you're going through like the Avengers building or like teleporting through the Avengers building or like the X Mansion, whatever. We go to that.
Yeah, speaking of teleporting, did you see there was like concept art that came out for No Way Home?
Yeah.
And so you know the scene where Doctor Strange and Spider-Man are fighting in the mirror dimension?
Mm-hmm.
So apparently that scene was actually supposed to be Peter and Doctor Strange fighting in different scenes in all the other Spider-Man movies.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so there's gonna be like a scene where you actually see them fighting during what's the wrestling match in the Tobey Maguire movies. And there's gonna be
Bonesaw.
Bonesaw, yeah, and they're like flying through the match and they're fighting each other, and then they're also like fighting in a scene where Gwen Stacy is like falling off of the tower. Yeah, there's like concept art of it. It's like that's a massive missed opportunity.
Yeah. Casal, that's because Doc Otto Octavius knows Spider-Man's identity.
Yeah. Yeah, he was pretty good. He was pretty good, especially when he was in a black suit. At first I wasn't convinced until like later on when there's that scene. I'm blanking on the scene, but there's later on, like right before you lose the black suit and as Miles you have to fight Peter. There's a lot of good like voice work with him there. Or when I'm trying to remember, because there's like a scene where it's like it was very like emotional, but he was also like super tense, and like you kind of like get it though. I really need to go back. I want to go back and play the game again, to be honest.
Would it be archive footage? Because Bonesaw, the Macho Man Savage has been dead for a decade. Would it be archive footage?
Yeah, well, it was scenes from those movies, right?
Yeah, scenes, yeah. So basically, yeah, okay.
Yeah, so I'm assuming they would use because in the concept art.
Everybody thought it was Mephisto. Everybody thought Dr.
Yeah, man, that was ridiculous, but like that was a missed opportunity. The whole multiverse idea, as we were saying in Tony's stream last night, is going to be looked back as one of the greatest disappointments ever. Mm-hmm. So much creativity you could have done with, so many different possibilities, and they really didn't do much with it. They can redeem themselves though. They still got a couple of these movies.
Mm-hmm. So you mean I like this line. I'm not the problem. I'm the solution.
Yeah. Yes.
Jonah Jameson. Oh, you should have threatened Jonah Jameson. He should just burst in. He should have. Jonah Jameson.
He's still pretty good in the game.
I
of course.
I laugh when you have to save him at the beginning, and he accuses you.
Yeah, you got to save him, right? Yeah, and then he wakes up and then he's like, "Yeah, I'm being kidnapped and shit." Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, there's a lot of great moments in the game.
I love. That's hilarious. Jonah. I want to see more Jonah Jameson. I want to see him like. I don't know. The third game, because I think in the comics, he changes his tune on Spider-Man because he does figure out later on Spider-Man is Peter. And I think he did. Didn't Peter marry Didn't Jonah Jameson marry like Peter's aunt or something? I don't know. Not his aunt. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, I'm pretty sure in the comics back a decade ago, Jonah Jameson did figure out Peter was Spider-Man, right?
Yeah, there was one time, yes, I did, yes. That.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, I forget the reaction he had when. Actually, no, hold on. I'm trying to remember. It was supposed to be like really ironic. It was during when obviously Peter revealed his identity. I think J. Jonah Jameson actually like was like very sympathetic because he was actually shocked that like Peter was Spider-Man, and so he actually treated him differently, and he wasn't actually as hard on Spider-Man as he was before.
Because I think he liked Peter. Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about if the Green Goblin will be Carnage, but we're not really sure. We think there might be two different games.
Goblin,
like in the Miles Morales, because remember, Miles didn't actually get the symbiote in this game, and recently in the comics, well, recently as in like what 2-3 years ago, Miles did get the symbiote, but he got it from Carnage, and when the suits in the games is actually the Absolute Carnage, with that story arc, right? That's that particular story arc where Miles gets the symbiote, and it's totally different than Peter's experience with the symbiote. So, I mean, I wouldn't mind if Miles Morales 2 we fought Carnage, and maybe like the Cult of Carnage. That would be pretty cool.
He's saying is you could have. What?
Well, the flame was just like a reference to the fact that Cletus Cassidy is he started off as an anarchist.
Yeah, that's what Cletus is. Cletus Cassidy's always been known to be like loves to cause. Well, what do you think Carnage means? Anarchy,
Yeah,
basically.
Anarchy.
He's compared. He's not the only thing. He's not like the Joker in a sense. What the Joker means to Batman, but people compare him to Joker in a sense. He's an anarchist. That's what they compare him to.
Yeah, he's just a total wild card. Doesn't really care.
People call Carnage Spider-Man's Joker in that sense.
Yeah. Yeah, an Absolute Carnage, like it was just chaos, right? Because essentially he got control of the symbiote hive mind, and I mean, Null was also behind it too, and that's also a character we were saying might appear like if they do a Venom game, right? Because he does get the wings, and that's obviously that's from the recent Venom comics. So there's a lot of different ways that they can go.
Null was not in the MCU because he couldn't use him, even though.
Well, technically, Null is in the MCU. We did see Null in the MCU.
Where?
In Thor.
Thor?
Yes, that's Null dead. But again, they didn't.
Did let him get Sony? Let him get away with that?
Well, I think Null is shared between Marvel and Sony. I don't think they can do all of Null in the MCU because, again, all that stuff is tied with Spider-Man.
I believe
but Null first appeared in Thor.
Okay, so, I didn't know that was Null. I thought it was some random god. Because
no, that god, the black god, there is supposed to be Null.
Okay, no, I wouldn't lose to that god that was in the forest. I'm sorry.
That's what happened in the comics, though.
Yeah, but Null didn't die though.
No, he was. I think he was dead, and then he like came back. He got revived.
Okay.
It's really complicated because Null, the reason why it's also weird too because this game like changes it up because like Venom's whole motivation is that he wants to be closer to the Hive, but in the comics, Venom, because Venom was so far away from the Hive, he gained his own like consciousness or independence, and so when he gets closer to the Hive, he actually just functions under Null. So it's kind of weird that in this game doesn't do that. It's a little bit weird.
I'm curious what Venom 3 is about. I don't have faith in it, but I want to know: is it going to be Null? Are they going to use Null?
I don't think it's going to be Null. I don't think so.
Because
I'd be surprised if it was.
Mm-hmm. It's because he did mention because Venom did mention other symbiotes from his planet, whatever's out there, and
Yeah, that's the planet that Null is from. The movies too are also weird, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that was shown in the flashback.
That was yeah. So they had that symbiote for some time then, right?
Yes.
Some years, because obviously because Peter battled the lizard before the Spider-Man, before Spider-Man 1. So
yeah, this was like an ultimate version of Lizard because he like the serum made him more stronger.
He became a mini kaiju in the game.
yeah, essentially.
Like wow, oh, the way he was evolving in that game, I'm like, oh my god, and he was a handle too, man.
But it was interesting. They made the Lizard more of like a sympathetic character. Like he couldn't. Well, I mean, the Lizard's been sympathetic. I mean, he goes back and forth, right?
But sometimes the Lizard has a mind of its own. Sometimes it doesn't. It seemed like this Lizard didn't.
Yes.
Right. It seemed like this Lizard was just an animal.
Yeah, the comics is really stupid. Sometimes they actually like they would say at certain events he was conscious, but then in other times they would say no, he wasn't, and it was like he couldn't control it. The comics is really stupid. I'm sorry,
here you could clearly tell he couldn't control it.
Yeah, he couldn't control it, and he was totally different. He didn't
want to go back to it.
Yeah,
because it ruined his life. As you know, it ruined his family, like being a lizard.
Yeah, it did. It did. That's what I like. Yeah, that's what I liked about the game was that the villains felt more. They had that human element to them. They just weren't, because a lot of Spider-Man villains, they're just petty crooks, and there's not really a lot of thought put into them in terms of like the psychology and all the things, the decisions that they're making. But here in this game, they actually do think about that. They do, like what happens with Martin Lee and Miles. I thought that was really, like, that was actually really cool to see that like Miles actually was like, yeah, you know what, I may not like forgive you, but like that doesn't mean I can like continue to hate you, right? And like we have to be a villain. You have to be my villain.
Anymore. Martin Lee doesn't have powers anymore.
Was it that? I didn't really. Okay. I didn't realize that.
When he helped Peter, him and Miles helped Peter when they were dealing with the symbiotes. That one scene, you know, when he needed the electricity, both of them, or wherever he put it all in to revive Peter.
Right.
Remember? To help.
Right. To give him the anti-venom.
When he was, the anti-venom scene. Yeah. That's when he lost all his power, apparently.
Right. Okay. I didn't realize.
That kind of cured him from the Mr. Negative side of things, I guess.
Right.
Because I was like, oh yeah, he's coming back in Spider-Man 3, but what used to be with the no abilities that could he get?
Right. Well, and you know that also makes me wonder too, if the next game will actually be about Peter helping, or basically kind of like what Miles did in this game, but with Green Goblin. Because Peter says to Miles, he's like, I've never even done that. And yeah, I think, to be honest, I think that's a better. I feel like a lot of superhero movies should do that. It shouldn't just be like the villains go to jail and that's the end of things. Because I don't think it doesn't really accomplish anything, right? Like to actually see them change or not be a villain, or they become an ally. I think that's really cool. Like even in like the MCU, like when Nebula became part of the Guardians of the Galaxy, that was actually really cool to see that. Like that she was a villain and then like she switched sides, right? I always like that idea, you know, like to have characters. You don't really see it too, like with heroes becoming villains and then they just stay.
It's more. It's rare for heroes to become villains. Where it's more common for villains to become heroes in comics. Right. Yeah.
But I would like to see that though. That would be really cool to have a character who was a hero switch and be a villain. Things like that I always like to see, you know. I feel like a lot of comic writers and people who write superhero stories, they're not super creative. Like I was even there's a comic, the X-Force, Rick, is it Rick Remember?
Maybe.
Who wrote the X-Force? And had Wolverine and Deadpool and Psylocke, and it's like maybe it's like 10 years old now, but you know, in that comic they have like a scene where like they were like, oh crap, we're all gonna die from starvation, right? And Deadpool's like, wait a minute, I can cut off my limbs and you guys can eat my limbs to survive. And it was like, yeah, it was funny, but it also made me realize there's not a lot of times where the character's powers are used in ways that are unconventional. Like you would never think of doing that in a situation like that, but it actually works, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so like things like that. Like I like it when they're creative with the character's powers. They think outside the box. They like flip sides. Characters are inverted, or old characters from like years and decades ago show up again. I like when they do stuff like that because it's really cool.
You know, Jake Casale, Andrew, he just gave me a great idea. Say the Venom symbiote did survive. What if in the third game, Green Goblin's causing all this chaos? They have to bring in the American army and to bring in Flash Thompson, who does become a soldier. And what if the project is they decide to make him Agent Venom, and he finds a way to control the symbiote instead of the symbiote controlling him?
Well, wouldn't it? I mean, but Harry's still alive though? No, Harry's just like
I'm just
kind of in the
saying possible possibilities. I'd probably go with the Harry route. Well,
I would do that with Harry because that would be more impactful, right?
It would. And Flash Thompson would be like the Peter's like, oh yeah, I'm sorry I bullied you in high school. But
yeah, I mean, I still want to see what happens to Eddie Brock.
Still not a bad idea to bring Flash Thompson as a soldier, maybe.
Maybe, yeah. I mean,
because let's be honest. If you bring in Craven, brings all the soldiers in. Norman Osborn brings in Silver Sable's crew. Don't you think the American Army or America would bring in their military into New York?
Well, actually, you know, now that you say that, because that reminds me of what happened in the Venom comic involving Null and this hive mind. So in that comic, what happens is it's revealed, or like Eddie Brock does some investigating, and he finds out that S.H.I.E.L.D. actually, way before Secret Wars, S.H.I.E.L.D. actually used symbiotes in the army. They actually used it on like vets during Vietnam, right? And it was like a top secret project, right? And all these like soldiers were like damaged from it. So I could actually see like Flash, if you have Eddie Brock appear, right? Like you could actually do something like that where the symbiote has been around longer, and maybe like Flash Thompson does have the symbiote suit, and it's like, you know, he's more of like a military version of Venom than what we saw with Harry, because Harry was technically Agent Venom, like with the armor and all that stuff, but like actually have one that uses a gun and is more looking like the character that we know from the comics, and it plays into that lore. Yeah, that would be cool to see. Like, it just came to my mind, but yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of possibilities they can do for the. I'm sure they have Sonic has an outline for the third game and whatever leading up to that.
Yeah,
I'm sure they do.
Yeah, they definitely do at this rate. I think they have something mapped out.
Yeah,
a goal they want. Maybe Spider-Man 3. I mean, who's to say Spider-Man 3 will just have Spider-Man? Like, I mean, given the fact that we have 2 games now where Marvel characters outside of Spider-Man don't show up, and we are getting Wolverine.
Might get Silk.
I mean, yeah, we're getting Silk, but like the way that they described the third game, they said it's gonna be like Infinity War. Right, or an end game. Yeah, that's what the director said in the interview.
Thanos
right?
gonna show up?
Say it again.
Thanos gonna show up? Yeah.
Thanos is gonna show up. But I mean, like the movies are gonna be, or the game is gonna be like those movies, where it's like a massive crossover, right?
That means Spider-Man's gonna lose.
Maybe he could. I mean, Green Goblin, the Ultimate Green Goblin, did kill Peter Parker.
What's this? What's this?
Different possibilities they could do.
Fake DLC.
Yeah, I did see that. With
What
what character was with him? Was it Daredevil?
Daredevil. Look.
Because they're teasing something with Daredevil now. I'm not sure if you saw the director was saying that something important is going to happen or significant, whatever. Yeah, people believe anything. I agree.
I mean, if it's gonna be the Avengers War, like it means you got a bunch of other heroes. You call the title Spider-Man?
Well, if it's Spider-Man 3 and it's like the ending, this is the last game. You can have other characters show up, but it's a Spider-Man story.
Oh, if you play most of this, oh yeah.
I mean, that would be pretty cool to see the other characters, like to have a scene where you're fighting, combat, and then like Daredevil and all these other characters start showing up, and they're part of the fight. Kind of like how in this game where like Wraith and Eddie, or not Eddie, Harry, they actually show up, right? Because Degrassi was telling us.
Hey, Daredevil, where have you been this whole time? I tried to fight symbiotes, taking over New York. Where were you? Oh, I was away.
Yeah, people get really excited about that. So, I mean,
hey, Doctor Strange, where were you during the symbiote invasion? I'm sorry, I was in Cosmotage, or whatever it's called.
Mm-hmm.
Be like, didn't the symbiote take over the world? Not just New York.
Jeez. Well, I think that was just a visual. No.
Yeah, it was.
That was just like a vision.
It did take over New York, though.
Yeah, it did.
But you would think if a symbiote took over New York, the other hero was to come out and try to help out Spider-Man, right? You would think in that.
Yeah, you would think, but
yeah,
no.
Right, and especially if it did take over the world, New York heroes, wherever Los Angeles heroes, wherever they locate, Wakanda, whatever they're located, would come out, right? Because that would not just be a New York event. That would be like a world event. That would be like a major Marvel event.
Right.
Like those comic books do. Yeah, people believe in anything. You know what? It's just do. I think they're going to do something with Cindy Moon and Miles as a DLC. I think that's the DLC. Cindy Moon. It's going to be Silk related stuff. That's what I think they'll do.
Well, I mean, I'll be curious to see what they do with Silk. Like, obviously, she's a lot younger, so she couldn't get the spider bite from Peter. But maybe she gets a spider bite from Miles. Who knows? Like, we would have to see how that plays out.
You didn't even see her face. They showed her back of the head.
Yeah, they just show her back, right? We don't even know how old she is. She kind of looked younger than Miles, though.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So maybe she's going to be younger, and then... I mean, it's definitely going to be the third game is going to be the three of them.
I hope it's going to be a love triangle.
Nah, don't do a love triangle. That would be weird as hell. What the hell?
Because from that ending, I'm like, oh my god, they're going to do a love triangle of Miles. Cindy.
God, that would be...
Because in the comics,
there's no way they'll do that.
In the comics, right? In the comics, Cindy and Peter kind of have a sexual relationship.
It's because of the pheromones and shit. Yeah. Please don't do that. That was terrible when they did that.
Oh, can you imagine if that's the case?
Oh my god.
Oh. Hey.
No, that'd be way too weird. We can't have that in the game.
They should turn Haley into Carnage and she can hear. I'm kidding. Carnage gives a hearing ability. She's not deaf anymore. Can you imagine Haley as Carnage? Oh my god. You think if Venom does come back in some way, you think if the Carnage will show up, you think they're gonna know each other? He's gonna call him Dad. Because it's Venom is like Venom is his father, right? That's what it says. Venom is his father.
Yeah, but Venom. I guess all the well that I'm gonna say no because it doesn't. It's not an offspring, or at least it's not. Looks like where I guess it is because Venom, the symbiote that they found. I guess they duplicated it or something. I don't know. I don't know.
This is what I think they're gonna do with Spider-Man 3. I think you're not gonna be pure Spider-Man for a while. I think it's gonna be a story driven where it's getting to a point where Peter does have to come back as Spider-Man, and it's gonna be like somewhere maybe not exactly middle end, maybe the middle part of this game. Maybe not like right at the beginning. I think they're gonna drag out the story to a point where he's gonna have to come out of retirement. To me, it would not make sense to have him come out of retirement right at the beginning. That's right. Have Miles establish himself keep establishing himself as the one Spider-Man, and then whenever Peter needs to come back as a Spider-Man, that's when you do it. Not at the beginning. Not at the beginning. I think that makes it more impactful, though, if you do that.
We'll see, but I think I might have to go because I need to eat something.
End it anyway. Yeah, it's almost 3 hours.
Yeah, we're almost at 3 hours.
Any plans for your Controller Chronicles? Like you promote, plug, whatever.
Yeah. So, yeah, we're gonna do Controller Chronicles. Probably a spoiler. I mean, we keep talking about the game, but you'll hear RJ and a couple other people's thoughts besides. Yeah, our own. But yeah, that should be next weekend. Okay. And then of course, obviously, Gavin with Geeks on Saturday on Tony's channel.
Get me on a stream.
Yeah.
It was a good stream. Oh yeah.
Yeah, pretty good stream. Yeah, one time come. I guess we'll.
I was on last week. He let me on last week.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize.
Yeah, we talk about Jabba the Hutt. Like Guillermo del Toro wanted to do a Jabba the Hutt movie. We kind of make fun of it.
Oh right.
Like why? We're like why? Why Jabba the Hutt?
I wanted to see that movie, but it'll never happen.
Like why? That movie be subtitled the whole film. Alien gibberish. But yeah, thank you for coming on. I don't know when my next show is going to be, guys. Obviously, there's going to be another Let's Talk Pop. We have to talk about Loki, the episode 5. Is it a filler episode or is it not a filler episode? We'll find out this Thursday.
Yeah, we'll find out. We'll find out if they're lying.
Do me a favor, like, share, subscribe, and comment below, guys. Take care.
Peace.